Stocks Podcast is brought to you by nothing but the greatest of the greatest. You best believe that, my G's. Hey, you need a criminal defense attorney? You slipped up? Peep game, we got you. You got our guy, Doug Sherrod. Doug Sherrod is a criminal defense attorney. Big dog shit. Matter of fact, bigger than big dog shit. You can reach him at KingKongLawyer.com. KingKongLawyer.com. He is our criminal defense attorney. He can be your criminal defense attorney. Reach out to him at KingKongLawyer.com. Hood Stocks Podcast is also brought to you by looking for some good quality cannabis. I mean, killer quality cannabis. Hit up the folks at Killer Kush. They specialize in bringing you the best quality available from OG to exotic. They got it all, baby. Hit them up at killerkushcali@gmail.com or on IG at killerkush__420 to find a location near you. If you're local to the LA area, you can find them here in the heart of East Los Angeles at East LA Exotics, located at 6009 East Olympic Boulevard. This podcast is also brought to you by Gutter Phenom out of Orange County, baby. Gutter Phenom is a lifestyle brand that is dedicated to supporting and inspiring individuals who are determined to achieve their dreams. Billy, we believe that no matter where you come from or what you've been through, with hard work and dedication, anything is possible. A portion of our proceeds are donated to organizations that provide vocational training for parolees and scholarships for those in need of drug and alcohol treatment. Jesus, who would have thought? This is just a t-shirt. This is a clothing brand. Okay, visit gutterphenom.com and use the exclusive code HoodStocks20 to receive 20% off your order today, baby. Yeah.
Casey, is it game time?
Yeah, it's game time.
Okay, hold on a second. Give me 1 second, sir, before you switch that. One second.
Alligator.
Fuck's that at, man? Oh, shit. Lucky, what'd you do? What did you do? Here we go. Let's get this shit cracking, baby. Yeah. Welcome to Hood Stocks, baby. Feels good, feels good. What is it, Tuesday evening?
Tuesday evening. Yes, it is.
Yes. Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Send tacos.
Where the tacos
Send
at?
tacos.
Let's go.
Let's go. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. Welcome to Hood Stocks. We love you, motherfuckers.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I was feeling good when I was recording those ads.
Anything is possible.
No, it sounds dope. Cool.
Yeah. Hood Stocks Podcast is also brought to you by Dying to See Me. Dying to See Me. Look them up on YouTube. They are a podcast. Shout out to Matt Montague. And go ahead and subscribe to their channel. They are partnering up with Hood Stocks Podcast. And also, too, I sing West Coast Graffiti in there. Make sure you guys head over to West Coast Graffiti, the best podcast at Long Beach. He's giving out the news. He's got a shirt and tie on with some sunglasses. He's got his hair pulled back so tight that his eyes look Chinese. You know what I mean? He needs to loosen up that bun, I think. Shout out to my boy West Coast Graffiti, man. Yes. Okay. So we had, Jules was supposed to be here, and 2 hours before the podcast, something happened, and she wasn't able to make it. So I want everybody, and this has been an anticipated thing. This has been something we've been talking about for a long minute. And shout out to my boy sitting across from me, coming in clutch. We are finally going to hear his story. Everybody give it up for Ricky Drewps. Hey, I didn't know Tuesday night was going to turn into Blockbuster Tuesday night, Dougie.
I didn't know either. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna get it.
We're gonna get it in.
Yeah, we're gonna get it in.
And I called up Rick. I said, Rick, man, the guest just dropped out. You know what's happening, doggy? You wanna get this in? You wanna knock this out the park? And he says, shit, say less, my G.
Say less. You already know.
I got this.
Yeah.
Rick, I don't know if we have time in this evening, bro, to tell your whole story, but let's try and get through some of it, brother. How would you start your story, Rick, as a young kid? As a young kid being raised in Highland Park, I mean, what was the earliest moment you remember? Do you remember being raised when your mom was with your pops, or was it always just your mom and your grandma?
Nah, it was more like my mom and my grandma and my stepdad, like, to start everything off. Like, I was, when my pops was, he was there, he was around, but, like, my mom and my pops were never, like an item. Like, they weren't, like together, like, you know what I mean?
It was just kind of like and I hate to say it like
they
this,
were like some high school shit.
Okay.
So just, you know, it was like, you know what I mean? They weren't like, never like, hey, like, it was never like.
They didn't plan to have you.
I don't know. I'm not sure on that, like, to be honest with you, but I know for sure that, like, they weren't together type shit. You know what I mean?
Well, let's paint the picture real quick. Your mom's from a hood. Your pops is from a hood.
Yeah.
So let's share the audience. Let's let the audience know this. This isn't your typical two man and woman or boy and girl. You know, young, right? Young man,
Yeah.
young woman at the time meeting each other in a proper environment. I mean, this is some hood shit.
Nah, it's on some hood shit for sure.
It's on some hood shit.
Yeah.
Can you say where your pop's from and where your mom's from?
Yeah. My mom's, she's from Westside Clanton, and my dad's from Dogtown. He's from the projects. So, that, you know, and we grew up in the hood. So, by the time I was born, like, I grew up in the hood my whole life. So, I'm pretty sure that's where my mom met my dad, like, in the hood, you know?
On the streets.
On the streets in the hood.
Were you one of those babies that had, like, you were in diaper with a Raiders jersey on?
I probably was. My dad is a, like, strong Raiders fan. Like,
Yeah,
his
it is
whole
that.
house is Raidered up. You know what I mean? I got pictures from back in the day wearing Raiders gear because, you know, like, I'm LA everything. So, you know, at the time, the Raiders were in LA. So, you know, I remember all the way back when the Rams were back in LA from before.
Absolutely. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
80s. When the Rams were in
Yeah.
when Los Angeles Rams, the 80s.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. When you were a child raised up, did you know more of your stepdad than your real dad?
No, well, my dad would always come through.
So
like,
you had a relationship with him?
Yeah, I had a relationship with my dad. It's just like my mom and my dad weren't together when, like, by the time I was born, like, my mom and dad were not together. So
Was it on bad terms or was it just
it
mutual
was
terms?
always cool. Yeah.
Oh, it was always cool.
Yeah. My dad always come through the pad, pick me up. Like, I got raised up, like, you know, weekends type shit with, like, my brother and sister on my dad's side. Like, my dad's wife was cool as fuck with me. Like, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like, oh, like, he went over here and did some shit. Like, you know, like.
So when what is one of the earliest memories you remember of your pops picking you up maybe on a weekend and you guys going and doing something?
We'd always, like, my dad always used to come, like, through, or my grandfather would come, my dad, they'd come and swoop me up, and, like, I'd chill with my brothers and sisters. Like, I got baby pictures over there with them.
Nice.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, my mom's always been cool, dog. She's never had, like, no, like, bad blood with, like, her exes or any kind of shit like that. Like,
And why is that? Because most females, it's just like it's all hell breaks loose when the dude pulls up, right? I mean, you motherfucker, I'm struggling over here, and you pulled up in a new Cadillac with IROCs on it.
Yeah. Nah, but it's never been like that. Like, I don't know. My mom's always been real cool. So, like my dad would always pull up. You know what I mean? So it was cool. Like, it was never like I didn't know who my dad was, you know? But my stepdad was, like, the one that was with my mom for a long time and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's who was, like, in the house, like, raising me type shit.
Which
You know what I mean?
Did you have respect for him?
Yeah, hell yeah. Love my stepdad.
Did you call him dad?
I I don't think I never did like that, but like I always like he never like treated me different. Like it was always straight, dog. Like to be honest with you, like I got a lot of love for my stepdad. He was always straight. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't never feel like oh, I'm on the side or like I'm not his kid or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Shout out to that dude.
Yeah, but I always knew who my dad was, so that was cool too, you know? Like some people won't know who their dad is, so you know, they might grow up with like
resentment.
Yeah, maybe resent or just not knowing and then like find out later. So, but my dad was always like in the picture, you know? Like he'd always pick me up, take me like little gatherings with family gatherings and stuff like that.
Was he in and out of jail? And I apologize for cutting you off.
I mean, I'm sure he's been to jail before. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? He was an active gang member. Like, by the time I was gangbanging, he was still gangbanging. So it was like, you know what I mean?
How did it feel when he was picking you up as a child? Like, I mean, was he pulling it up and you're like, damn, Pops is a gangster?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at him and still now and know he's a gangster. You know what I mean? It was never like, you know, like all the homies knew who it was, you know? Like everybody I grew up with knew who he was. Like, you know, he's a known dude in the Dogtown projects. You know what I mean? He's not like some, you know, random dude over there. Like they know him.
Yeah, he ain't like some weekend warrior that no one respects and shit.
Yeah, nah. They know my dad. My dad's Wolfie from Dogtown. He's from the projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how was it being raised? How early would you like to go back so you can paint a picture of us of how it was for you being raised in your household? How far back would you like to go?
We could go back as far as you want, but like on the real, I've always grew up in the hood. So like for me, I only know like being in the hood, you know, like most people that know me, they know where my pad was. You know, my mom barely sold the pad, but like right before I got out.
You've lived in that house all your life?
All my life.
Okay.
That's where I know.
Tell me a little bit about your mom. Your grandma lived in that house too, right?
Yeah, my grandma. I love my grandma.
Matter of fact, let's do this. So I know the house. Let's give them a description of the house that you lived in with your grandma, your mom, your stepdad, and then the siblings that came after you from their relationship, right? Yeah. How big is that house?
The house isn't that big. It was like a 1.5 bedroom. So it's not a big house at all. But like really the only people that lived there is me and my mom. Like my grandma always had her own stuff going on, but she'd always come through and make sure we're good. But it was my grandma's house.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was my grandma's house that we grew up in the hood, like second house from the corner on York Boulevard.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
910 Toledo, right?
510 Toledo.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, most of the people, they know, like, you know, all the homies go to jail. We got mail there for sure because everybody knew that address was always there. You know what I mean?
I want you to give a description, and I don't want to talk about the ones that know. Let's talk about the ones that don't know. Let's tell the story to them, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because the people on the chat, there's a lot of homies in there right now. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah,
they're
shout
tuning
out.
in, supporting the homies.
Parks up.
Yeah. But for the ones that don't know, bro, your kitchen was equivalent to a hallway. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. It was like a little hallway, like leads
a hallway
to the bathroom.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, it was small. Yeah, the kitchen was small. Like you walk in, it's a little dining room that leads to the living room, and then there was a bigger, I guess they would say master bedroom, but I mean it was like a regular size. Shit, it wasn't bigger than the studio right here. You know, it was a small house. It was like from back in the day, it was somebody's like back house type shit. But I mean, that's where we grew up. That's what we know.
How was it growing up with your mom?
It was cool. My mom was like,
how did she raise you? Like starting off with you, and then came your brothers, your sisters, right?
Yeah.
You're the oldest with them, right?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Okay,
yeah.
you were the oldest in that household. So how was it when it was just, and then we'll talk about maybe your siblings coming into the picture.
Yeah.
How was she with you? Like,
I
tell
grew
us a
up
little-
with my mom, like more like brother and sister type shit than more than anything. That's the way we grew up. We grew up like chilling, you know, like, I mean, I was young. I used to be lying about my age, all kind of shit. Like, all my homies are at least 3 to 4 years older than me. Back when it mattered, like right now it doesn't matter, you know, but back when you're like 9 saying you're 13 and shit, like that shit matters to like, what's wrong with you? You're small and shit, you know? Like I'm in elementary and everybody else is in junior high, like that shit matters, you know?
And those are the dudes you're hanging out with.
That's my people. That's my crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was the youngest one from my crowd. Like everybody I grew up with, I was the youngest one.
So when it comes back to you saying that you and your mom were like brother and sister, is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean,
Like how would that relationship, you know?
well, she's always been like my friend. Like it wasn't like mom and son, you know? Like we were always cool. Like she was more friend. That's why I say brother and sister, because she was like more friend than, like my mom is 16 years older than me. So, you know,
She had you when she was 16.
Yeah, so
okay.
like by the time I'm 10, and at 10 I'm already out there. So this is not like I'm 10 like the little kids you see nowadays. Like 10, I'm already saying I'm like 13 or 14, lying about my age, getting high, like out there in the street. You know what I mean? And my mom grew up like being a gang member, but you know, she always had all her homies at the pad. Like, I've always grew up around, like, gang members. Like, that's what it was.
And how was it growing up when she was saying she always had the homies at the pad? I mean, just let's paint a picture of a typical day back then at the house. Like, what are you waking up to?
Waking up to, like, people there, people at the pad. Like, even like, when it went to, like, with us, it was still the same. Like my mom used to have like her homies there, like I guess you'd say weekends, but like she always had people there. Like it was never like a typical house, like, you know, just like where like just the family there. Like we've never had just family there. Like we've had like more like homies there, like extra people there that I guess in turn are family now, but you know what I mean? Like actual like family, like from my mom, like
No.
like nah.
Street
but,
family.
Yeah, street family.
And
like,
what are they doing there? I mean, it was an open
Everybody's
house to
chilling.
shower,
Whatever.
to eat.
sleep, eat, shower, kick it, like, you know. It was always known like that. Like it was known as this, like the spot, you know, to come and chill. But it never like felt out of place. Like, oh, I can't like eat cereal in the morning, or you know, it just was regular. So like, you know, growing up now and understanding like normal household type shit, like it wasn't like that. Like it was regular to see like, you know, gang members at the pad, like you know, people getting high, selling drugs, like whatever, you know. It was normal.
How was school for you? Were you, I mean, elementary, junior high? I mean, how was it going to school, living in that type of environment at home?
School was good. I was always, like, to be honest with you, I was always straight A student because my grandma would be on us. So my grandma would, like, give us $20 for every A and E and all that extra shit. My grandma's like, you guys go to school, do what you got to do. I got you. So my grandma would make sure that we were good. So, like, I made sure, like, all my grades, everything was on point. So when I come home and it's report card time, my grandma would chip us off. Like, make sure to get that money. so it was always good. Like, I never had no problem with school. Like, elementary, I was great in elementary. Like, once I got to junior high and you're able to ditch school and all that, like, I started ditching and all that shit came into play because I was already out there fucking around, you know what I mean?
Let's take it back to grandma. Was grandma back then the backbone of the small family?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody knows that.
Was she more of an authoritarian before your mom? Like you had to worry about what grandma said or mom?
Well, I hear where you're going, but like my mom was still on it. Like it wasn't like just because like she's from the hood, so she's not trying to have you do good. Like she's still on it. She still wants you to like go to school. Like I used to have the homies living with me at the pad, and it, like I said, the pad wasn't big, but I've always had somebody from the hood living there. So.
And then mom had other people there.
Yeah, well, by the time it came to like me, it was more like just me. But we were always used to people being able to be there. So, like my mom would, if I wouldn't go to school, like she kicked the homies out. The homies can't be here today, So they'd have to leave, and some of them wouldn't have nowhere to go. So they'd be like, fool, go to school, dog, go to school. So and they'd stay at the house, and I'd go to school. You know what I mean? So sometimes it was crazy, but like, yeah, overall it was cool, man. Like I don't have no like bad memories growing up or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like growing up with my mom, like she used to be having her parties there. Like, I grew up with like oldies in the house, so I'm used to that. You know what I mean? My mom always having little parties and shit, selling Sherm and shit back at the pad, like just chilling, and for me at the time, like that's like the crowd I was around. So like even when I went to my friends' houses, like that's what was going on. So it was normal, but like as you get older, you know that a lot of that ain't normal,
100%. So how did you before? I don't want to say before because then I would be assuming that you got into drugs, and we can get into that down the line. But before, let's say before you knew what drugs was. I mean, what was the earliest age you knew drugs were, and you knew that there was dudes around you that were on drugs?
Nah, I mean, from early age, I already knew drugs. Like,
How early can you say?
Well, in elementary, they taught us that just say no and all that shit. So, that's when the Nancy Reagan and they had that just say no and all that shit out there.
The egg in the fucking pan.
Yeah, like this is your brain on drugs, They had all that shit. So we weren't blind to knowing what drugs was or anything like that. And like at the pad, we grew up around, like I grew up in the heart of my hood, like everybody that knows. And for the people that don't, like if you know the area, like it's the hood. You know what I mean? Like now they got that shit, gentrification and all that shit, but back in the day, that shit wasn't like that.
So how was it? Like, so you said it was normal to you then, growing up, seeing people on drugs, seeing you're a kid, you're seeing transactions being made at your house, or seeing people maybe coming to your door at all hours of the day and night, potentially. Is that safe to say?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like we weren't looking at, like now that I'm older and I'm able to understand like some of the shit, like, but at the time you just think, oh, the homies coming to chill, or, they're just coming through real quick or something like that, but like, I mean, we grew up with it being regular. So it's not like you knew something was, like you didn't think nothing wrong about,
because that's how you were raised, and that's all you knew.
That's the way we raised up,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, got all my grades good. Like my mom was on me, like, oh, you can't go out type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like making sure, like I was always G'd up in school, like all my clothes. I had always the freshest shit in school. Like everything was cool. Like they made sure I was good always.
And was that because mom was hustling, or because grandma comes with a little money?
My grandma had money. My grandma had a bar. My grandma had a bar. Yeah, my grandma had a bar in downtown LA on 7th and San Pedro. So she had a bar over there, like almost till 94, 95. So, so all my early teens and all that, my grandma had a bar. So my mom used to work at the bar, and like, you know, my stepdad used to work at the bar. Like family, my uncle Rudy used to work at the bar. Like, you know what I mean? It was like a family-owned bar in the middle of Skid Row. You know,
It's like a rough bar.
Yeah.
Back then too.
Yeah, back then, and it.
Would they tell you stories about it or anything
I'd
like
be
that?
in there. I'd
You
be in the
there?
bar. Yeah, I'd be in the bar behind the counter type shit. So it was cool. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I grew up more around this shit. So it wasn't like.
You were a 9-year-old bar back.
Well, I mean, I wasn't serving the beer or nothing like.
You were
but,
serving the nickels out in front.
my grandma had like candy and beef jerky and all that shit, like in the bar. So like, we'd be able to go to the bar. Like, it was common for. She catered to more like the older people in Skid Row, like that work and shit like that.
Yeah.
So she had a good bar. Like, to be honest with you, it was cool, even though it was in like the heart of Skid Row. She catered more to like the older working class crowd. Okay. So they were used to seeing like the kids running behind the counter, like all that kind of shit.
How is that, bro? That's probably got to be some pretty, not only interesting but amazing memories as a child, and being a part of a family-owned bar. I mean, you're in a place where you're not really supposed to be there. I know back then it was probably common with certain family businesses where there was potentially kids, you know, passing through, you know, because, you know, it's a different era, bro.
Yeah.
Nowadays, bro, you know what I mean? Shit, you lose the bar, you lose your kids, you lose license, you know?
Nah, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. At least not at that time. It wasn't like that, because we'd stay over there. We'd always be at my grandma's bar. Like, I used to catch the bus just to go and like chill at the bar and shit. Like it was cool, man. It was RTD, you know? Yeah. RTD, catch the 83, get off right there on Broadway and straight. Be right there, one bus to downtown and shit.
And you would take it yourself?
Yeah, easily.
And how was that area back then, cutting through, you know what I mean, Skid Row during then? I mean, it was probably just normal. You were used to it.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I see it now, like navigating through there, and I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. It's fucked up, you know? Like, I try to like make sure my daughters ain't all through there and shit, but like, I used to be young going through there. Like, it was regular. But that, I mean, if that's all you know, then it's not foreign to you. But if, you know, like if you're used to something else and then you come into it, you'd probably be like, oh shit, like what's this? You know what I mean? But that's what we knew.
And your grandma made some good money from that bar, owning
my grandma.
Bar.
Yeah, she had property. She owned the house. You know, like we always had good cars. We always had good shit. Like nobody never thought like we were poor. Like I can't say I grew up poor, but I grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? But like I didn't grow up poor, like fucked up or nothing.
You grew up hood rich in a different type of way.
I would say so. I mean, you know, when it was time for school, you know, we went shopping for school clothes. You know, when it was holidays, like it was more like with my grandma for holidays, she would like give us like, hey, here you got $500 to go shopping at like Toys R Us type shit.
Yeah.
Like pick what you want. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go see what I want. Like she would like, come on, let's go. I'm gonna take you guys shopping. You get like $500 each. Like see what you want. So it was cool.
Tell me a little bit about your grandma that you remember. About what kind of lady was she?
Grandma's a good lady, man. She's a good lady. Miss my grandma.
Like, what did she teach you? Are there any things that she taught you besides like, hey, if I get an A on the report card, I'm gonna get chipped off? Or during holidays, you know what I mean, she's the one I want to be in the car with, you know.
Well, we always used to be over there. Like grandma used to look out. Like she was a good lady, man. Like
was she like business? Obviously, she was business savvy, but was she stern with you guys? Was she?
Yeah,
or was she just
for sure. Nah, she was stern with us. She'd like to make sure that we were on point. She wouldn't like. She'd like to make sure like we were doing what we were supposed to do. Like she wasn't no like people be on you about being a Jew and shit. Like my my grandma's side is Polish. You know what I mean? So my grandma's side is Polish, and then my dad's side's Mexican, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's how I grew up. You know, I grew up more on my mom's side, but yeah, that's.
Did you ever get any slack from that?
Nah, not really. Nah, no. I don't think so.
Because let's say this, in those times, your family was very respected in the neighborhood, like grandma, mom.
Yeah, I mean everybody.
The surrounding cast, right?
Everybody around or like we never had no real problems around my house. Like everybody knew what it was. You know what I mean? My mom, like I said, I grew up with like her homies there, so there wasn't like, you know, all the neighbors knew us. Like the neighbors right next door, like my stepdad's brother married like the neighbors, so like we knew all like the neighbors and everybody right there, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Like I grew up with them, like watching me like when my mom went to work, and you know what I mean, so it was cool. Like I don't know, I never had no like to me it wasn't bad growing up in the hood. Like I had a good life in the hood and shit, you know.
So as you're getting older, you know, now you got siblings coming in the picture. You know, you got your brothers, you got your sisters.
Yeah.
You know, and so how was it living in such a small house with so many siblings? And then on top of that, you know, it's kind of like it's open house. It's a, you know, community spot, so to speak, right? Where people are always coming through because this is what it's been from the beginning. Your mom's cool with that. I mean, did she really like, a two-part question. Did she really like the social thing of just having an open door policy, so to speak? Just like, yeah, come on in, you know, or was she that social?
Well, I can't say it was like open door. Like there was just people there all the time because, I mean, there was different spurts of like what was going on, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different chapters like in everybody's time, and just like my mom working at different times, like, you know, it would all depend, like, you know. And then I used to be I used to be out, like I used to like chill down the street a lot, like with the homies and shit. So that's like I had a friend that lived down the street. It was two brothers, like Gilbert and Louis. So I used to always be at their house. They were like a block away from me. So I used to always chill with them, and like all their family were from Clanton. So my mom's from Clanton. So like they knew everybody. So it was cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like their family were cool. I was able to just, like, I didn't have to ask, hey, can I spend the night? Like I'm just crashing out. You know, we still go to sleep, go to school in the morning, and like do what we have to do and shit.
Damn, you had the good for kids, bro. You had the good life, bro. Like you could spend a night at the friend's house on the weekdays and bounce to school.
Yeah.
That was a norm right there. I mean, to talk about back in those days, bro, when all the neighborhood kids knew each other, and what were they doing? They're playing outside, they're walking around, right?
Go to the park on the weekends and shit. Go to the pool and shit. Like, you know, I was in all the sports in the park when I was a kid, you know. Like my mom makes sure, like whatever I was trying to do. Used to go play basketball, used to go play baseball, all in Highland Park. You know what I mean? Used to go back in the days to the pool on the weekends. Like it was good times, man. Like, you know, I hear different people's stories and like where they grew up, and yeah, like for me, I never felt like I grew up like bad, or, you know, like it was always cool, you know.
Did you ever, was there when you were during those times, and there's a lot of people are going through there, whatnot, you know, your mom, stepdad, gang related. I mean, it seemed like a lot of people are gang related. I mean, did you see an early on pattern of a lot of police monitoring that area, police officers, police activity?
Back in the day, like where I grew up right there, like York and Toledo, like by the McDonald's. Before it was Winchell's, so the next block was the Highland Park Police Department. So it was easily like the police are gonna be there for sure. You know what I mean? Back in that day, like now we have Northeast Police Department that caters to the whole area. Before we had the Highland Park Police Department, which I lived one block away from.
So were they familiar with your house, your mom, your family
Well,
back then?
they'd be there. Well, they'd always be at Winchell's because it's a donut shop. You know how,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, a lot of people make fun like, oh, the cops are at the donut shop. But I mean, that's what it is. Like they used to be there all the time. Like, so you'd always see the cops, but like there wasn't, I wouldn't say like back in them days, like they didn't really mess with you like the way they mess with you now. Like if you're doing your thing or like if you're in your yard and you're not like causing problems, like they weren't really like trying to run up in there and fuck with you or worry about what you had going on. At least to me as a kid, it didn't seem that way.
Yeah. So
know?
you had no fear of them then, as a kid.
Well, I mean,
during that time.
I knew I didn't want to get caught out like after curfew because they'd be on bullshit or like, you know, like I've always been an asshole. So like, you know, I'll be writing on the wall and shit like that. You know what I mean? So like before I got in the hood, I was a tagger. So we'd all write on the wall and shit like that.
What tagging crew were you from?
I was from BSK.
Tell me a little about BSK.
BSK's Backstreet Kings. So it was like originated in Highland Park, Eagle Rock area. So like yeah, I got into BSK like late like 89, early 90s type shit. You know, I was still like barely on the transitioning to going to like junior high.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what made you want to get into this tagging crew, BSK? What attracted you to it?
Well, that was a big tagging crew. I mean, they had the other tagging crews around at the time, but
what other tagging crews were around at the time?
like in the Highland Park area.
During
they
that
had,
time?
like KNS, RIA. They had different ones that, you know, I was more familiar with, but like I knew a lot of the KNS dudes. But BSK was like the homies started getting into BSK, like the dudes I was around. So that's where I went, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, how was it being such a we'll say young pup, a young dude, right?
Yeah.
And now you're from a tagging crew, BSK. I mean, was it empowering as a kid? You know, did you feel like, damn, I feel something? I felt like I belong to something. I mean, were you longing to belong to something?
Oh well.
Or was it just your friends? Hey, this is what we're doing.
Nah. Well, before that, like we were making shit up because everybody had their own shit. So like we were trying to make our own shit up. We're like, oh shit, everybody's tagging and writing on the wall. Like we wanted to do that shit too. Like I said, I grew up around gang members. So like growing up around the gang members, like we were trying to emulate that shit early.
Yeah.
So it was easily like we'd be trying to dress up like all gangster even before like we knew what the fuck was cool. Like that it ain't cool to be like that, you know? Like we were trying to dress like gangsters when we ain't from nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was a style.
Yeah, it was a style. Like everybody was on it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and I see it firsthand at the pad. So, you know,
yeah,
like they be trying to dress you up, like my mom's homies, like, you know, different people around the hood try to dress you up. Like, look, I got him. Like, you know, hooking you up and shit. So it was cool, you know. You see them wearing their hat, like, oh, let me have your hat. You know, young, just trying to fit in, trying to be cool, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get into BSK, and you said at first you were just trying to, like, you know, I guess you were just trying to fit in basically what was in style and what everybody else was doing and your friends were doing. I mean, it's basically, you know, you just being a product of your environment.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
you know?
I mean, BSK was like one of the big tagging crews like in the Highland Park area. So, you know what I mean? And like at that time, like you had to know how to like tag, like to be a tagger. So it was kind of crazy because like when I got into BSK, like I told you, my friends were Gilbert and Louie, and they didn't know how to tag, so they couldn't get in and shit. So it was kind of crazy. It was like kind of like we'd still chill, but like, you know, because there was other tagging crews around there, like, but like, I don't know. It was just different. You know what I mean? People were trying to like to find their lane. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing. Like I was like I knew everybody in Highland Park. Like from being in the park, going to school. Like, you know, everybody knows each other. So, you know, by junior high, everybody's trying to figure out what they're trying to do. You know, and from elementary, I was already like trying to emulate the gang members. You know what I mean? Like,
did you ever think about not being something else than what was in front of you? Did you ever say like, yeah? I mean, did you ever have any dreams, aspirations of being something else other than what was in front of you?
I mean, to be honest, like bullshit to the side, like growing up, like I wasn't like, oh, I want to be a gang member. I was like, oh shit, maybe I could be like a lawyer or some shit, because you know lawyers make money and shit.
Were you really thinking that?
Yeah, really,
that's
really
dope.
thinking
Yeah.
that shit. You know, I was like, oh, maybe be a lawyer or some shit like that. But that's like all the way in the back of the mind, because other than that, like we were like emulating trying to be like gang members. You know what I mean? Like early on, like Cortez and like, you know, back then they had like the British Knights and all that shit. Like, you know.
Did you ever think that you could ever be anything else but what was in front of you? I mean, do you think that, I mean, you were like, this is just what it is? I mean, how hard would you have had to fought to be something else outside of what was inside of your house and outside the door, right? Like like it was basically stacked against you to be anything else but what you became. Is that safe to say?
Well, I mean, I think everybody has choices. I know a lot of people, like, it depends where you're at and stuff like that. But, like, growing up, like, I was just, like, always in the hood. Like once I got into BSK, like, my pad was the spot. Like, it was known, like, if you need to go look for anybody from BSK, like, pull up at the pad. There'll always be at least 5 to 10 people there. I always had at least 3 or 4 homies living with me. So it wasn't about like, you know, everybody knew we were there. You know, at the time, like acid was cool, bud, sherm. And that's what we were doing, you know.
What was one of the first drugs that you, you know, that you tested out?
Shit, man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I grew up like in the era with everything was already there. It was like weed, like crack was there, like acid. Like, I mean, we were doing everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, like I used to fuck with crack. That was my shit. You know what I mean? That's what I used to like. You know, but we used to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your drug of choice in the beginning was crack.
Well, early on, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so what did you like about that feeling?
That was just like the drug that was around everywhere.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You know
bro.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we'll smoke bud, like, you know, a lot of people smoke P-Dogs, or like we dip them, you know, make lovelies, do all that shit. But like at that time, like 89 to maybe like 95, like my drug of choice was crack. Like I liked crack, like I fucked with it, but like we do everything though. Like we went for like maybe like 91 to like 93 just doing acid like every other day. Like we used to be on acid all the time. You know what I mean? But that was just like one of the drugs that we do.
Yeah, because there was an abundance of everything. So
it was everything. Like you go and get like big bag of weed for like $40. You know what I mean? We had a dude in the hood. He used to like them little trees that you get in the cars, like the little smell good trees and shit. He used to be like, hey, go steal me like all of these trees and we'll give you fucking we'll give you bud. Like, what? That's all you want? Like, we go take all that shit. You know what I mean?
Car fresheners.
Car fresheners. That's
Little
what he
trees.
wanted. Yeah.
Tree.
He wanted that shit. He wanted them car fresheners. And then
He wanted new ones out the store.
yeah,
right?
new ones out the store. But I mean, that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And we'd go get it. Like for a while, there was dudes, like the homie from Tunerville, like his family, they wanted parrots. We took all the parrots from the hood. Like, so it was like, we had times stealing cars. Like we used to always have G rides in front of my pad, play crash car derbies, driving around the hood, just kick
in other people's cars.
In other people's cars, man.
Not worried.
Bad.
Not worried about any fender benders.
Nah, it was intentional. Like we were just, crash car derbies all night, like chilling.
I mean, it sounds like a paradise.
I know. Fuck.
A paradise for just some fucking hooligans, bro, to do whatever the fuck they want. It's like a free for all, bro.
How'd
It's
you
like
learn?
your own little world where there's no rules. I mean, did you grow up feeling lawless or feeling above the law, so to speak?
Well, at that time, I've been to juvenile hall, let's say, 17 times.
Okay.
But the most I've been there for was 4 months.
Okay.
So, but I've been there 17 times. So, like, it was like, and for only, like, my last time I went there was for 4 months, Well, the last time I went there, I got tried as an adult, and I went to the state. But the time before that, so it was always, like, slap on the wrist. So it never felt like, oh shit, like this is serious and I might get in trouble. Like, I'll get in trouble. They'll call my mom to come pick me up. She'll come swoop me up and then boom, back at it.
And what would mom tell you when she'd pick you up?
She'll be mad, of course, because she got to come get me and all that extra shit. But you know what I mean? Like it fucked up her day and shit. Like got to come get you and shit. But like overall, like my mom understood. Like I said, we grew up like more being friends and shit. So she like understood where I was coming from. Like even now, like, my brother and sister, some of them, they'll be like, oh, mom likes you more than us and shit. But they're not understanding. Like me and my mom grew up like
together, like
cool, chilling.
Yeah.
Like,
And was she's always been someone, even back then, that you can talk to about anything? Did
Yeah,
you have an open?
My mom's at my house right now. I brought her over here from Texas. She's at my house right now, chilling right now.
But back then, shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Back then though, did you feel like open to talk to her about anything? Like, hey mom, what do you think about this? Or did you ever bring situations to her plate?
For the most part, my mom knew more or less what's going on with me, like all my life. You know what I mean?
So you never had to say nothing because she was always just like.
She kind of knew what was up. Like it was never like. I mean, of course, like like she don't know everything. Like who's, people got their brothers and sisters or wife that don't know everything about them. But like for the most part, like me and my mom always been cool. So it ain't never been to where like I feel like I gotta hide something from her to, like, hey mom, this is what it is right now, and that's it. And she's always gonna support me, man. Like my mom got 7 kids. My name's the only name tatted on her, Like, she's just, that's just what it was,
Shout
like,
out to the other 6.
Nah, but, they know, like my mom loves all of us, It ain't like no extra shit, but, like, my mom's been dealing with me being who I am, like, my whole life, you know what I mean? So, that's what she's been fucking with, and, like, in juvenile hall 17 times. Like, only your parents can come see you there. It ain't like anybody else can come. And I didn't grow up with my dad, so it's only my mom coming. So it's my mom coming. My grandma used to come when I was in YA, but,
At what point in your young your young adolescence.
He's a criminal.
Well, I can't say like college. I mean, it can be considered some type of college, university of the streets, right? What was a point in time? Because I know you're known for something, and someone's like saying, "Why are you asking him all these questions?" And I told Rick, I said, "Rick, I'm gonna give you, a real interview."
They're like, you already know him. What are you asking him a bunch of dumb shit for?
Yeah, exactly. I see it in my peripheral. I seen one of those, but it's okay. This is for the ones that are tuning in for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, or the first time for Rick, right? But what was the point in time when you said, "Hey, I got to make some money," and you found out? I mean, how did you make the money?
Well, like back in the days, like I said, my house was always like the spot. Like everybody would come through, like they come through to chill, come through to just, I mean, everybody that knows any spots, I mean, like where you could come and just chill, like, you're chilling, you're drinking, you're getting high, you're doing whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? So, shit, back in the days, everybody used to be coming. I'm like, damn, everybody's here fucking around, getting high, like, So, for a while, at first, I'd go and I'd be the guy like, oh, I'll go grab it for you, and pull up at different spots and grab whatever they wanted. And then I'm like, shit, hold on, if I got it, I ain't gotta go no more. So I just started having it. And first I started faking like I gotta go get it, So I'd be like, I'll be right back. And then just go and chill in the alley for a little bit and then come back. And then after that, I'm like, nah, fuck it, I got it. It's right here,
Did it start off with as crack?
Yeah, it started off crack.
And how was it?
Crack and Sherm.
Crack and Sherm. And at the same time, you're smoking crack too.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was it selling crack back then? I mean, how hard was it to sell crack? Or how
it wasn't
easy
hard
was
at
it?
all. That shit sold itself.
Yeah.
Like that shit was all day. Like, I mean,
how much money were you making? Like, I mean, not how much money you were making, but like, sometimes when you're getting high off something, it could be potentially hard to make a lot.
I was never that dude. I was always, that's why I'm not going to tell you like I didn't get high. But everybody knows, anybody that knows me from the hood or from any other hood and around us, they know. Like I've always been known for having money in the hood. Back to like when I first got in the hood. Like I was in the hood with a bunch of gold chains, like selling ounces a day in nickels, dimes, 20s, like in everywhere in different spots.
Who taught you how to do that?
Nobody taught me that. I taught myself that shit.
You taught yourself?
Yeah. It's a demand. If that's what you need, I got it. Back in the days, that's what it was. Like, like whatever you need. If you need it, I can get it. You want a motherfucking iRock right now? We're going to go and get that shit. You need a TV? We're going to go and get that shit. Whatever you needed at that time, like we were there. They were at the pad. Like I said, I had my little back room at the pad in the hood, and I've always had 4 or 5 people there, and like we'd just be chilling all day. So like, all right, we go on missions and shit. Like, hey, we're gonna go. Back in the days, it was pullouts, so we started stealing pullouts, started robbing houses. We started doing all that shit. Like we were there doing all that shit. Like there was not a like Rodney King riots. We were looting. We were doing all that shit. You know what I mean? There was not no time that we missed anything going on. You know what I'm saying?
So you're talking about supply and demand. We're talking about that. And I mean, how did you get to be able to manage money like that? I mean, you taught yourself. I mean, you're known for the dude that was, smoking a little crack, had a big sack of crack, but you had all this gold on you.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no,
It's easier,
we've
but
seen
why-
plenty
but-
of people do it and try.
But it came easy to you. Is that safe to say? Selling dope, it came easy to you.
Well,
And making money.
I mean, I guess. I mean, shit, I did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Did you realize you were good at it? Like some people go to a public basketball court, they get a pickup game of basketball, bro, and you know what I mean? They
They're
school
shining
everybody.
on everybody.
Yeah, they school
Yeah.
everybody, bro.
Like, what was
I mean,
the biggest like number you served? And you're like, oh fuck, I'm doing it.
no, that was later.
that
in
was
life.
We'll get.
But like back in those days, it like
it came easy to you. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, for sure. Like
And was it because people like dealing with you? I mean, what do you think? Because
Well,
sometimes
look,
people don't want to deal with the dealer.
I think this is what it is. I think by me getting high, I can understand what somebody's coming trying to do. So you want big pieces. You want like with crack, you want big piece. Like if you're getting dippers, you want that shit dipped right. Like you don't want nobody getting over on you. So I didn't have no problem showing everybody love to bring me your business. So I'm going to give you the best anybody's going to give you for sure if you come my way.
And so you figured that out at an early age, because I've been in positions in my life where I was getting high. I had a sack, bro. You know what I mean? And shit, you might be a couple points underneath the fucking teeter-totter scale, dog, because I'm getting high, bro. But obviously maybe that was my dope fiend manias at the time. But you always were able to keep a clear head and understand the game and saying, you know what? You get what I'm saying?
I think for me, it was more like I like the money more than the high.
Okay.
So
The money was the high.
yeah, I after even when I got out after, the money was the high for sure. But I think at that time it was the same way, but I didn't understand it at the time because I knew like even like I used to sell dope with the homies from Rose Hill back in the day in their projects. Like I'll be in their projects with them slinging dope, all of us taking turns, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people used to like to fuck with me because like I was giving them double ups, like, you know what I'm saying? And just because I'm getting high, I'm not getting high off of what you're buying from me. Like I got enough on me to make sure you get what you're gonna get, you know, and be cool still. So I always made sure you got your money's worth, because I understood how it was to be out here in the street getting that money.
Okay.
So I think that's what was different maybe about me selling drugs, that I understood at that time, like, okay, cool, I want to get high, yeah, but if I keep these people coming back, when they want to get high, they're going to come to me, and I'm going to give them what they got coming. You know what I'm saying? Or even a little more, because I want them to keep coming over here, because the more they come, the more money I'm going to make. You know what I'm saying?
And so when was the point of time that you realized that you're saying, damn, like I'm pretty good at this. People are coming to me and I got a fat wad in my pocket. Like, how did you start? Did you start kind of like, I mean, did you respect the money, or did it make you care less about the money because you were making it so easy?
I always cared about the money. I mean, because, you know, I mean, money is what it is. Money makes the world go round. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people that got money, they'll be like, oh, fuck money. That shit don't make you happy. That don't, like, come on now. You're saying that because you got it, you know? Ask the broke motherfucker on the corner asking for some money. They're going to tell you, nah, money means a lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you know how to utilize it, you know? So if you're utilizing it in the right way, money's always great, you know? Like, of course, yeah, money ain't everything, okay. We understand that. But without no money, you ain't going to be able to eat. You ain't going to be able to live. You ain't going to be able, you're going to be out on the street doing some crazy shit, trying to get some money to eat and live and do all that other shit, you know? So when you have money, if you're making money work for you, then you're good. You know? People don't make money work for them. They be working for the money. You got to make the money work for you.
I read a book that said that, bro.
It's real shit.
You got to learn how to make the money work for you, and you not to work for the money.
But that's real shit.
And you learned that at a young age. You understood that at a young age.
I would like to think so. I mean, I mean, I'm sure as far back as you can remember, you've never heard about me like, oh, this fool's out here like tripping and not making it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
From just all the way back. Like I've always knew how to make money, you know? So that's what I was on, you know? I was always trying to make my money, you know? Like I said, I used to be over there and making money, dog. That's what I was on. You know, I liked at that time to get high, but I didn't like it more than having money. So I think a lot of people like to get high more than they like having money.
You like the money more. Did you, were you always known to take care of your family with that money?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody knows.
Was that always in the back of your mind, like some of this money's got to go to my family?
I mean, not in that way. Not like, oh, I got to make sure like 10% goes to my family or no shit like that. But I've always tried to, like, if I'm good, like I try to make sure my family's good, my homies are good, people I care about are good. You know? Like, I've never been greedy, man. I see people being greedy and shit, and that shit gets me. Like, come on now. You know? You're going to be greedy today, and then what happens next year when you ain't got no money and everybody just knows you for being greedy? You know? You're always going to be you, but you ain't always going to have money. You know? So, you know, like when I got out, all the homies looked out. Everybody looked out for me. You know, in one shape, form, or another, like different people looked out. That's just because I've always showed love. When I was in jail, I didn't never like, oh, I'm in here doing bad. I don't have a soup. I'm doing bad. Like, I was always doing good. You know, I know how to make money. I knew how to manage my money, you know. Like, it just matters what you have and learning how to manage it.
Manage money is important. How did your siblings, your brothers and sisters, feel about you like back in those days, bro? How did they see you? How do you think they saw you?
I don't know. I mean, I think my brothers and sisters don't look at me like a scumbag or no shit like that. You know, I've always been cool with them. Like, you know, all my family, I fuck with my family, you know. I've always been there for my family as much as I could be. You know what I mean? Like in any way, not just money. Like, if they need me to be over there, like, I'll pull up. You know, like, you know, some people think just because they have money, okay, just send me some money. Like, nah, like, I'll pull up, you know. Family events, something's going wrong, I'm pulling up. Like, any of that shit, like, I'll be there. You know, sometimes your time means more than money. And a lot of people don't understand that either, you know?
Yeah, 100%. That's a jam being dropped right there. So BSK, tagging crew that you're from, gets in the Highland Park. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Big ass tagging crew gets in the Highland Park. So how does your life change now from being a tagger to now being a Highland Park gang member?
Shit. I mean, it was just for real, like, I was the last one to get in the hood. Like, I was the last one. Like, my pad was the spot. Like, everybody knew about my pad being the spot. But, like, when everybody, like, started, like, hey, we're all going to get into Highland Park, like, I was one of the last ones to get in. Like, I was like,
hesitant?
Not really hesitant. I was just, like, didn't really understand the move. Like I said, I was the younger one. So I was the youngest at the time. So everybody started getting older in age. They were going to the county, and it was just different from them being taggers in the county. For me, I'm still going to juvenile hall. So when people were talking about this or that, like, that shit didn't affect me.
In regards to gang stuff in juvenile halls?
Juvenile hall, it's, you know, it's whatever you're doing, and, you know, it's just a different aspect than the county jail.
Yeah, it's a different animal.
Yeah, it's a different animal. So, like when we got into Highland Park, like, shit, we got in more people deep, I would think, than than Highland Park was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was just different, man. Like for me, I was one of the last ones. I was living with my stepdad at the time in Hollywood. So all the homies started telling me like, hey, fool, we're going to get into Highland Park. I'm like, what? Why? Like, why don't we just stay BSK? You know, because we were already on, you know, that's around the time when everybody was on the tag banging and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So we were already riding like we were a gang, you know, Vario BSK, writing that shit on the wall. Like, that's what it was. Like, they already called me Drewps from BSK. Like, it wasn't like something like, oh, well, we got to figure out a gang name for you. You know, like, that's already what it was. Because everybody already was, all the taggers at that time were starting to transition into tag banging. So we were already like, all right, cool, this is what it is, you know. But a lot of the homies started going to the county and just dealing with different people in the hood. So that's what they did. So, like, honestly, like, once I got in the hood, it was just different as far as, like, now I'm from Highland Park. But other than that, like, a lot didn't change. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah,
And
you're already in motion with the whole business.
It was already, like, that's what it was. And, like, I grew up in the hood. So, like, you know, I had friends from both sides. Like, you know, we had, I would say, like, maybe like 10 of the guys from BSK like got into like our enemies, and then the rest got into Highland Park. So, like, you know, but we grew up with everybody. We grew up with Highland Park. We grew up with Avenues, Dogtown, like being in the hood. You know, those were like the main gangs in the hood, you know? So that's what it was, you know?
So you said that you said going in and out of the juvenile hall 17 times. You said the last time you went to the halls, you went in for 4 months, got tried as an adult.
No, I went in for 4 months. I seen your ass in there, but and his ass over there too. But like, yeah, like my last time I did the 4 months. I got out for 9 days, and then I came back and I got tried as an adult.
I think I seen you in those 9 days.
That's when I was telling you.
Yeah.
We were chilling. Them 9 days.
Those 9 days. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. We were.
Yeah.
That's when we were playing baseball at the park.
Yeah, that's when it was. You remember it different from me then.
I like to block out bad memories. I make up my own past.
Right?
That's not what happened.
Said, oh, this guy got a whole different story than I do.
So you were out for those 9 days and you go back in. What'd you go back in for?
I went back in for robbery.
Okay.
I went back in for robbery at the time. I got out. Before I went to jail, I had like a bunch of guns in the hood, you know? So I got out thinking like I still got a bunch of guns in the hood. So when I come home, I don't have no guns in the hood. So I'm like, what the fuck? You know, and I'm used to being out there like running around in the hood. So I finally get my hands on a gun. So I'm like, now I'm like one of the only ones with a gun in the hood. So like everybody's coming to me like, hey, we're doing robberies, this and that. Like, let me borrow your gun. I'm like, hell nah. Like, I'm using this shit to shoot. You know, I have people and shit. Like, I don't want to be out here without a gun. Like, I'm riding on the ball. I'm out here shooting. Like, I need my gun, you know? So a couple times I lend it out. Like, here, man, just come back. And they came back. But, like, sometimes I'm like, damn, are they going to come back or not? Like, I want to go riding on the wall and shit. Like, I like to ride on the wall. So I was like, fuck. So, like, that time I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to go with you guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'll go with you. And we end up going and had us on videotape robbing the store and shit. So we got busted for it the next day. So it was all bad. That's when I got tried as an adult.
Okay. That's the next day. That's a quick turnaround. So you got your your house raided the next day?
Nah, we robbed the store. Then I go about my way. I go do my shit, because like I said, I wasn't robbing shit at that time. Like that's not me. I was selling drugs. So I had drugs. I'm selling drugs. The homies come to borrow the gun. I don't want to just lend it to them because I got somewhere to go. So I'm like, well, come on, I'll go with you. So we go to one store. They're about to that dude acting like he's going to shoot us. So I'm like, oh, shit. So we go to the next store, rob that motherfucker, go back, continue our day. Then the next day we go to a ditching party. We're in a ditching party in the hood. I'm on a Vista. And we're leaving. I'm about to go home because I've been it's been a long motherfucking 9 days since I've been out from juvenile hall. So I'm like, I'm going to go, show some time at home real quick. So I'm about to go home. The cops end up chasing us in front of the park. I run back to the ditching party. The cops pull us all out of the ditching party. I was writing all over the wall. So I'm thinking, damn, they got me for writing on the wall. Like it's all bad. And nah, they're like, oh, you look like a guy from a robbery yesterday. So it was really all bad. Like they got me for that shit,
So you went in. How much time they give you for that robbery? It was your first time as an adult, correct?
That was my first time as an adult, but I was in juvenile hall. So I went to juvenile hall. They tried me as adult, and I ended up getting a deal for 5 years with 85%. That's when they first started the 3 strikes. So they gave me a strike and 85% of 5 years.
Did you ever hit the county jail?
I went to the county after I got out. I went straight from juvenile hall straight to I went to juvenile hall. They sent me to YA to Norwalk, SRCC, and I went there with an adult number. But YA didn't accept me. So I went back and they said they were going to send me to prison. But I thought, I went to YA acting like an asshole, right? Because I was figuring at that time, everybody was getting halftime. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to get these 5 years. I'm going to go with halftime and then I'm going to be good. I'm going to get out quicker. Because at that time, everybody that was active going to YA, they were maxing out their number. Yeah. So I went to YA being an asshole, like fighting with everybody and trying to get in trouble so that they didn't want me. So they sent me back. They said, all right, we're going to try you as an adult. So they gave me my 5 years. With half, I went to Wasco. And in Wasco, they sent me back to court in absentia and added on the 85%.
Damn, that's cold. That's a cold shot. Damn,
yeah,
bro.
So I thought I would be out in 97 and I got busted in 95, but I ended up getting out in 2000. I did the whole 5 years.
How was it going to prison for the first time? I mean, growing up, you're around all these dudes that are, probably potentially out of the penitentiary. So you're familiar with probably a lot of cats, that come out, the penitentiary. I don't mean to repeat myself, but how was it for the first time going to prison?
Well, they came and picked me up, and I was still in Central Juvenile Hall, so they came to Central Juvenile Hall, picked me up, and they took us to LA County. So we waited on the bus while everybody got filled up. They filled up the rest of the bus, and then they took us straight to Wasco. So I went straight from juvenile hall to Wasco. Like me and one of the homies, I believe his name's Weasel from Paramount. We went same day, just me and him, like straight from, never been to motherfucking county jail at all. In 95, we went straight to Wasco. So that shit was new to us. It was it was a whole different...
Was it exciting? Was it an adventure? I mean, what was going through your mind at the time?
was going through my shit. I was going over there with a gang of bud and crank and all kind of shit. I was strapped up, so I was like, "We gonna be good. Like this is gonna be nice, for real." Like like I was tripping, like with thinking like it's gonna be crazy because, like I said, I've only been to juvenile hall, and the longest I ever did before that was 4 months. So when they gave me them 5 years, I was like, damn, I ain't never gonna get out. Like this is gonna be forever.
It felt like you had a life sentence.
Hell yeah. I was
you. 17
and they told me I'm gonna get out like 5 years. I was like, fuck, this shit's gonna be bad, And then I'm still thinking like, it ain't too bad. Like I'll be out like when I'm 20. I was thinking I was gonna get out at 20 because I thought I was gonna get out in 97 with the halftime. So when I'm in Wasco, they come and tell me like, nah, we're changing your shit to 85% because the judge couldn't give you that deal. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, how does that work?
It's probably illegal. Now it's probably deemed illegal, right?
I don't know,
yeah,
but
I can.
They just said, no, nunc pro tunc, that this is what it is. And I was like, what the fuck? Like the counselor was like, hey, how much time do you think you got? I'm like, shit, I got 5 years with a year credit with this, that, I thought I was good. And he's like, hell nah, you got 85%, you got this. So, yeah, it was that shit opened my eyes. I was like, oh shit. And then I got there like right when the Bulldogs broke off from the Northern. So like they were with us, but like I didn't know nothing about like north, south. Like I knew we were homies. I knew that, hey, you're gonna go up south side, Sureño, all that stuff. But I didn't know, like I knew everybody with 14 except Clanton or the other side, So pulling up to Wasco, there was a bunch of Bulldogs that were now like basically on our side. So it was like, it was kind of crazy. Like it was just something very new to me. Like, and I went from being around kids to men in one day. Like they just put me out there the same day. Like here you go in the unit. So,
besides adapting, how did you adapt? I mean, was it gradually or did you just fucking?
Nah, full force, same day. Like this is what it is, and I went in there just feeling like, all right, fuck it, this is what it is, Like I didn't have a choice.
Was it intimidating?
I wouldn't say it wasn't because I always felt like I'm the shit. So like I'm not gonna be like I never felt scared to go anywhere, scared to do nothing or anything like that.
No nervousness.
Of course, everybody's always nervous, but like
I was just that was a robot chest.
Nah. I'm just like I mean everybody's gonna be nervous and like I said, I'm going up there thinking like fuck, I'm straight from juvenile hall. I didn't even get a taste of the county jail. They just sent me straight over.
Because usually county jail is just it's kind of like a primer. It primes you for the big house.
Yeah, we didn't get none of that.
And once you get to the county jail, shit, you could go anywhere, and then you can really like build your confidence up and be like, shit, I got this shit, dog.
We didn't get none of that. We were just in juvenile hall talking like, oh shit, we're gonna go to the county. So like, I thought I was still gonna go to the county before I went to the pen, but they were like, nah, you're going straight like to the pen today. And I was like, oh shit. So, we're talking to the homies on the county bus and they're like, don't trip. You guys are good. We got you guys. It's all good, but, shit. It was just from waking up in the morning and I'm in juvenile hall to in the night I'm in Wasco.
During I want to ask you this question, bro. During that time, I mean, was there any of the older homies that you can remember? And you don't got to name no names or nothing like that, but they put you under the wing and gave you that clecha, you know what I mean? That gave you that love, that like, hey, little homie, check it out, bro. You know what I mean? Do you
like
remember?
Over there, like in
when you hit the state, Wasco.
Well, they put me right in with everybody else. So like my first like celly right there, he was from Maravilla. So they put me right in. Boom, here you go. Here's your first celly, and he's an older dude and early 40s or some shit, you know? So me, I had just turned 18 in Norwalk. So I'm like, fuck, like, you know, and he's like, hey, bro, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. And then I'm like, all right, well, hey, look, I got this shit, you know, and I had a bunch of shit. So, like, you know, I had money on me because we were doing it in East Lake. I had that shit my way. Like, I was the man over there. Like, I was doing it. Like, nothing changed from the street. Like, you know, so
you were slanging in East Lake.
Yeah, I was slanging in East Lake. Like, that shit was cool. So, like, I had a bunch of money on me. I had a bunch of weed. I had a bunch of crank because they didn't even have glass. Back then it was crank.
Good shit.
So, yeah, I had a bunch of that shit. I had all that shit on me. So I'm asking the homie, like, hey, what can we do here with some money? He's like, money? Fuck, you got some money at? You know? And I'm like, shit, I got money. I got all this shit. Like, what's up? So, you know, like, he just started, like, putting me up on game. And there was different homies there, like, you know, like when you come out to yard and, you know, running into different people that now that are getting me ready, because now they're understanding, like, oh shit, this little fool came straight from juvenile hall. And then I'm coming to a jail where ain't nobody got no drugs and I'm the only guy there with drugs. You know, so everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, where do you get drugs at? You know?
Turn that bitch into a party, huh?
Turned it up, you know?
Fucking jack-off fest, fucking 95,
you know,
dog.
but they still had tobacco, though, at that time. So, like, everybody's smoking.
Bugler, baby. Yeah.
You know?
Shit, I stayed smoking them buglers.
The buglers came, what they have, the tops
The
or
tops,
whatever,
yeah.
in the fish kit, you know? They would come in the fish
that's
kit.
right.
Yeah, they would come in the fish kit.
Damn.
So they still had all that shit cracking off, fool. So, you know, it was just different. Like the homies putting you on game, dog. Like, getting you ready to go, you know? So everybody's trying to, oh, well, maybe you'll do this or you might this. And
let's explain to some of these guys what a fish kit is.
Fish kit is like when you first get to a jail, they give you like a razor, soap, like, and all the necessities like toiletries is in your fish kit. But at that time, they'd give you tobacco too, because tobacco was like part of the deal.
Necessity.
Like, yeah, that was a necessity. Like, you know what I mean? They would give you tobacco, so like it was a necessity. You know?
I wonder why they named it a fish kit, even though it kind of makes sense if you think about a fish kit. If you're going fishing, you need a tackle box, you need a fish kit. I mean, a fish kit could be considered, I mean, the worm hook, fucking,
yeah.
You know what I mean? The means to survive, right? You know what I mean? You know, in a rural area.
You're like a new fish out to sea or some shit.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
That makes sense too. Yeah, fish kit. I mean, they call the new dudes fish.
Yeah, they
know?
say you're fish, so it's a fish kit.
A fish kit,
It's
yeah.
here,
there
boom.
You go. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. There you go. Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you come in new, you come in.
They'd be like, hey, the new fish are here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and all the fucking shower sharks poke their head
Yeah.
out the shower.
Whoa, God.
There I am with my
hood?
dick in my hand. You know what I mean?
There goes Lucky on one.
Little tight cakes, just
Right?
No. Sorry for that, guys. I'm not like that, I promise you. I just like to talk shit. Such a and those times too. Let's talk about those times, bro. Because they still had the Grand Slams on Sundays.
They had everything. That
Grand
shit
Slam. What is a Grand Slam? Every Sunday in the penitentiary during these times, people would look forward to Sundays because they would serve you a breakfast called the Grand Slam. And it was the best breakfast of the entire week. It was Sunday's breakfast. And I don't care if you malias, I mean, whatever you're going through, bro, you're going through heartbreak from a fucking bad letter you got in the mail, bro, you going to make it to Grand Slam breakfast every Sunday because, they would really make it a Grand Slam breakfast. Like it was a Denny's breakfast, bro, back then.
Hey, I used to really like the coffee cake with the. I like the coffee cake
with the oatmeal on it.
Yeah, with the oatmeal with the peanut butter.
Oh,
shit, fire, dog! That's the one I like. I like more than anything. I like that, or even the SOS. The SOS used to be so fire. Like I came out trying to look for the SOS, and I was like, they don't make this shit like this. Like, I like the jail SOS way better than the what is it, Denny's or IHOP or that SOS was fire.
Well, you're just in luck, bro. Open the door. Let the police in, bro.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? You got a warrant for your arrest, sir.
You're out. Here you go.
You got a warrant for your arrest,
they
sir.
didn't got that shit in there no more.
All right,
like
don't
that.
let him in then, dog.
Lock him back out.
Lock him back out, dog. SOS was good. It was fire.
That shit was good.
I mean, these are things that people remember.
Yeah.
And so from Wasco, where do you go?
From Wasco, I went to Jamestown. I was supposed to. I went to Jamestown. I was supposed to go to the level 2 because I had 22 points. So they overrode me to the level 3 because I was too young, and they were like, "Nah, we don't want to put you down there. We want to try you out over here first."
Damn, that's a cold shot, bro.
That's what they did.
He's too young, so let's put him on a higher power yard.
That's what they did.
Even though those 2 yards back then fucking rocked.
Yeah, but it was cool because they sent me to the dorm in Jamestown, and they still had weights, they still had all that shit on the yard. Like, it was still like back in the day. So
it blew my mind how big dudes were on the fucking yard, bro.
Man.
No, they had weights. They had weights on these yards. They would have a fucking fence around it. A lot of them had fences around the weight.
This one had a fence
around
too.
the weight pile, and you had to show your ID. I think you had to be.
Nah, they didn't really trip. Not in Jamestown. They didn't trip over there.
Anyways,
the A2B and A1A.
Yeah, I was thinking that, bro, and I could be thinking wrong, bro.
Yeah.
But you go in the weight pile. What was it? Hourly unlocks in the weight pile, maybe.
Nah, this one was.
It was in
Jamestown.
and
It
out?
was cool. Yeah, it was like whenever you want to do type shit.
Okay, well,
It was pretty cool.
the first penitentiary I had was Susanville, bro. So they were just like, there was a lot of bulldogs there. There was a ton of North Daniels. Half the yard was North Daniels,
Yeah,
bro.
we had the same
and,
shit.
And that's when you can flag your colors and shit too.
Yeah.
And so like you knew
Like, you know who was who.
You knew it was who because the North Daniels would be the red finals would be fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then over here you'd see, and then the North Daniels, bro, they all had the fucking the DuckTales.
Yeah.
You know,
The same shit over there in Jamestown.
they would roll their PIA pants up, like cuff them up with I don't know, they just had their own little stilo and shit, you know. And then
they were there. They knew.
Yeah, and then the homies had their own stilo too, and then the Bulldogs were there at the time too. And the Bulldogs, they were, some of them there, they were just like they had a little bad taste in their mouth because I don't think they may have not liked. I don't know, bro. There might have been just some different emotions going through them in regards to being in the Ronfla with us or whatever. But anyways, so you go to Jamestown. They override you to the 3 yard. How was the 3 yard right there?
The 3 yard was pretty cool, man. Like, I was in the gym for maybe like a little less than a month, and one of the homies from Orange County came. He was from La Colonia, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a celly. I got all this shit hooked up in the pad. Like, what's up? Who got some time? Like, want to come?" I'm like, "Shit, right here," So I went with the homie and shit, and it was cool. He was a good dude. Good dude, man. Like, got to see about that cell life, and for real, like, from there, my points just kept going up. Like I ended up going to a level 4 from right there. But yeah, I liked cell living. I didn't like the gym. So like when they like ran the game down to me, like, hey, this is what it is. Like, I actually got a shot on purpose, like, to stay in the level 3, because I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll just stay here and I'll be cool.
Because you got used to the cell living, you didn't want to go down to the
I didn't
2 yard where it was dorm
where
living.
it's a dorm living, yeah. So, like, I got a shot on purpose, like, to stay in the cell living, and then it just,
And what kind of program did you run? Hey, Nick, can you do me a favor, though? Can you give me that bottle of Patron over there? Or Don Julio, please?
You know what? I got to take a piss.
Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Yeah,
Quick break,
we
we'll
can
be
do
right back, guys.
Hoodstocks Podcast is also brought to you by Origin Bakery Equipment, your one-stop shop for all your bakery and restaurant equipment needs. Home-based to wholesale commercial bakeries, new and used equipment. Check it out. Follow them on Instagram at Origin Bakery Equipment LLC. Or you can pull up on them in the city of South Almani at 10441 Rush Street. Peep game. If you need commercial bakery equipment, these are our guys, and now these are your guys for the best prices. Hey, tap in. Hood Stocks Podcast is also brought to you by Apish OG. Apish OG. Apish OG. Everybody say it with me. Apish OG. Follow them on Instagram at Apish_OG. You can buy it at OG Nation in the city of Maywood. Come get your flower edibles. One-stop shop for all your needs. Yes, sir. Hood Stocks Podcast is brought to you by Lux Tattoos. No, it's not me. It's Lux. Lux Tattoos. I don't tattoo, but Lux Tattoos. Follow them on Instagram at Lux, LUXX_tattoos_. Hey, a lot of these cats have gone Hollywood. They were raised in a holy, beautiful home, structured with all the beautiful things. Man, tattoos originates from the streets, so make sure you get tattooed from somebody that's from the streets. Lux Tattoos. Love you guys. We out.
Let the ceremony begin.
Countless battles, I walk with no shadow.
Yeah.
Desert in sandal, the ghost with the candle.
Woo.
King of all crowns, rip the rattle off serpents. Blood I thirst, since I am the worst.
Follow your footsteps, you have no footprints.
I am the surface, you worthless purpose. The moon, the stars, I'm connected to darkness. Heads of marksmen, I've hunted the farthest. Village of troops, Molotov the roofs. Black Sunday service with Holocaust roots. Homo Kabbalah, black magic and balas. These AKs and hollows will leave you forgotten. This bottomless season, you looking for meaty Mussolini, Gaddafi, the world cannot stop me. I'm legend, remember me?
Gifted since birth, you were delivered in a hearse. Your mother and your father trade your soul for a curse.
I'm a soldier, coming at you like a locomotive. Never knew I navigate the culture. Service at the tabernacle potion.
The devil made my father, little spirit set beside me. My mother was a slave to 3 witches on the island. Ever cheat death? Ever wake up and catch one breath?
Master of obstacles, the Nostradamus. I structure the continent, the director of operas. I swing my arms, I move the seas. I change the weather, 500 degrees. The god of chaos, I shed no pity. Come over for the seance. Hey, kitty, kitty.
The ruler of your conscience, yeah. In your head, I'm a monster. Take control of all your options, yeah. There's no way you gonna stop this.
The ruler of your conscience.
Yeah, yeah. Where you gonna stop it?
Don Pablo, master ceremonial.
Godfather, Vito Corleone. In other words, we're bosses and foremen. Superintendents,
Chief of command.
take a damn good sniff for that white shit. White girl wasted, don't act like a white bitch. I'm just fucking with you, dog, I ain't racist. Put a bandana on my head and make me rich. Chuck Taylor's big bag upon bitch. You roll around the hood, no good, nameless. My ancestors built this, we are ancient. LA, I bleed blue till the plane hits. All pilots are lit, fit for crash landing. Stove top stays hot, no break dancing. No wrong, red rum crushing your aspirin. I organize hits in orderly fashion. Like Thor, my hammer hits, the floor's crashing. The damage I do, leave your crew dismantled. This me, I don't give a fuck, I'm an asshole. I've learned to embrace it, the king is standing. Just curving cases till shit changes. I'ma keep doing dirt till I get paper. If there's a million over there, I'ma learn the language.
Devil, it's not my shit, cause I
Your conscience. In your head, I'm a monster.
Yeah.
Take control of all your options.
Like, subscribe.
There's no way you gonna stop this.
All that good shit.
The ruler of your conscience.
There's no way you gonna stop this.
The ruler of your
We
conscience.
got a banger right here for you guys.
In your head, I'm a monster.
Blockbuster Tuesday night. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Casey,
We're back.
hit that magical button. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. I hope you guys are enjoying this, man. This has been a highly anticipated podcast that me and Rick Drewps, we've been talking about for a cool minute. And I'm glad that just on the spur, just like
On the fly, right?
on the fly, we, Rick stepped up. Our guest fell out. Matter of fact, this was supposed to be for Jules right here. Stizzy, shout out to Stizzy, our sponsor Stizzy. We're gonna give that to
Whoa,
Rick.
Good looking.
I think there's a
Good-looking
card in there.
Stizzy.
What does a card say? This is how dope Stizzy is, real quick.
This is Stizzy
Stiz-
looking out for Jules, but
Yeah.
she didn't want to come.
What does it say, dog?
It says, hope you enjoy this care package. It's some of the team's favorites. Stay Stizzy. Stizzy team.
Shout out to our sponsor, Stizzy, man. We love you guys, man.
What's
I'll
in
tell-
there? What's in
I'll
the
tell you
bag?
There's a
like
bunch of
this.
good things in there.
I'll tell you like this, Stizzy, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. So good looking out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good
the
stuff
rosin,
in
the
Whoa,
rosin
we
fucking
got
cartridge.
Stizzy rosin cartridges.
there. I ain't gonna lie, I took 2 things out of it.
We knew it.
Right?
Well, no, I
I'm
gave
not
it-
going to show the rest now.
I gave it. No, D. Leo the jeweler pulled up to shine some of the jewelry up, and he goes, and I said, hey, bro, you want some weed or something? He goes, yeah. And so I was like, fuck, I had this bag in my hand, and I know Jules in here, so I gave him the cartridge of, you know.
All right, guys, have a good night. I'm done with the interview.
Yeah, but you know, Rick's been getting the Stizzy shit, man. Rick got the Stizzy money better than anything, yo. Yeah, Rick was
Let's
walking.
go, Stizzy.
Rick walked out with like $500 in the pocket the other day.
Let's go, Stizzy.
Yeah, dog. Shout out to Stizzy. Shout out to
Stay
Leanne.
Stizzy.
We
Here
love
we
you.
go,
We love you. We love you. We love
baby.
you. Yeah, absolutely. What's that?
I said, we're running low on weed, though.
Stizzy can't keep up with your habit, Nick.
I know, fucking.
Sorry, sir.
Hey, get over here, dude.
Wonderland.
Yeah, bro. God damn it,
see
bro.
that.
Nick's a
Shit,
weed man,
Yeah,
huh?
you got a real problem, sir.
Yeah.
He just ate the whole 400 milligram candy.
Whoa.
That shit was
Dude, I told him, are you gonna eat the whole thing, dude? He was like,
that was good, dog.
he's like, yeah,
Oh
I'm gonna eat
my
the whole
God,
We're going to have to direct
Nick.
I was
Nick
like,
to the
store.
Stizzy outlet.
Nick.
Like I was eating a Laffy Taffy. Fool.
Oh
thing.
shit.
How often do you eat that? Like, are you gonna be able to drive home on that?
I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a ride home in your
Fuck,
fucking
dude.
Tesla.
Whoa.
And your fucking drive by itself.
Right? Just touch the steering wheel.
That's fucked, Nick. I don't know how you could do that, bro. But I guess you've been doing it a long time.
Easy. Send us some more shit.
Love Stizzy, man. So you're in that 3-yard. You set up with old boy from Orange County.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of cats from the area on that yard?
There was it was me, the homie Little Man from the hood, from the Pee-wees, and then the homie Rebel from my clique, from the back streets. Yeah, so it was us from the hood, and then there was one of the homies from Avenues was there too, and who else? It was like we were like on, you know how it is in jail and shit, like it'd be like the east side car.
Yeah.
So all the homies from the east side, northeast, southeast, east side, all of us.
Yeah.
And then all the homies from the west side, you know?
What kind of program are you running there? I mean, did you play any sports?
Yeah, basketball. Play
was it.
basketball.
Are you any good at it?
I'm pretty good at basketball, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm be balling, dog.
We talking about horse or the actual game of basketball?
No, the actual game of basketball. Like, yeah, in Salinas Valley, like, we were known with that basketball shit. Like, the homies, like, we stood on that shit. But, like, right there, we still had the weights. So, like, we were trying to take advantage of the weights. Like, because we still had them for, like, another year and a half that I was there.
Did you smoke tobacco in there?
I started because it was there. Like, so, like, I probably smoked for, like, a month. And I'm like, damn, I don't get high off this shit. Like, this shit is no good. Like, I'm good. So I gave it to the homies and shit. Like,
Yeah. For some reason, bro, I mean, you've never been known as a tobacco smoker.
I don't smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Even though you're smoking
I
the
only
vape.
smoke
Even
this
though now
vape.
me and you were like fucking like a titty on this bitch.
yeah.
Like,
But I only smoked the vape because of my daughter. Like, I came home and my daughter's like, oh, Dad, look, take me to buy a vape. Here, try it. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. So, yeah, I started fucking smoking vape. But, like, I only smoke it because of the taste. Like, if it didn't have a taste on it, I wouldn't smoke it.
yeah, no,
So,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
so I smoke it because of the taste. But, like, nah, I don't smoke tobacco. I don't do none of that shit.
What about the homies, bro? We used to make fun of the homies, bro, that had the fucking that had the from smoking the buglers because it doesn't have any filters on them.
Yeah.
So the
yellow fingertips?
the crack homies,
Yeah.
would smoke it till it burnt their fingers.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
can tell what kind of homie you were by what your fingers look like. If they were all blistered up and shit, dog, then you
You're
knew,
like,
dog, you
damn.
didn't have no money coming in, dog. You were smoking that shit until your fingers burnt.
Till they're burning. But see, back then, like I told you, it was part of the fish kit. So like they used to give the tobacco for free. So like homies would get that shit like from everywhere. So they were getting it. But like even when I got there, my grandma was still alive. So I was doing good, dog. Like, you know, my grandma, as soon as I got there, my grandma sent me packages. Like I looked out for the homies there. I'm like, damn, I thought you guys were supposed to be looking out for me. You know what I mean? But
You were a little young, rich homie.
yeah, for real. That kind of shit.
What
you
kind of?
know?
I mean, so then you obviously you got to adapt to your environment.
Yeah.
You know. So what was back then? What was your kind of like? What was the spread that you like to make?
Over there, like
Yeah.
shit, we had everything over there. It's like, you know, they had the roast beefs. They had like we had the stingers. So like it wasn't really, and then it was a lot of people bringing food back from the kitchen.
Yeah.
So like you wouldn't even really have to make no spreads. It was more of them bringing back like hooked up sandwiches, hooked up like everything from the kitchen. So it was love, and then I was doing good. Like, you know, I got there, I adapted to my environment. So like, you know, the cops over there, they were on me. They're like, hey, how are you gonna be the only Southerner here selling drugs? This is a northern yard. Like, shit, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like right off the rip, I just peeped out the game and I jumped back into it.
Got
Like,
at it. Got after
yeah,
it. Huh?
got
So-
back after it.
So I think we skipped the beat, and man, we're not even close to finishing this dude's story right here, this homie's story right here. You went from 3 yard to 4 yard. How was
Yeah.
that going to the 4 yard?
Ah, shit, it was different, dog. Like for real. Like,
How was it different?
I remember when I talked to one of the homies, like when I first got there, he was like, hey, fool, like, how do you like it there and shit? Like, how is it? I'm like, shit, it's cool. The only thing I ain't got is like pussy here. Like, other than that, like, I'm good. Like I ain't tripping. Like, it's all good, you know? I got to that level 4. He asked me, hey, how's that motherfucker? I'm like, damn, dog, I want to go home, dick. This shit is turned up. Like, god damn. I got to Salinas Valley in 97, dog. And that motherfucker was turned up, dog. Like, motherfuckers weren't playing over there. Like it was going down in Jamestown on the 3 yard right there on Tuolumne Yard. But when I got to Salinas Valley, the 180, that was a whole different animal, dog. I was like, fuck. Like, that's when I started thinking like, oh man, motherfucker might not go home from right here.
Like
Like,
that, huh?
It was a lot of action there, dog. It was a lot of shit going on right there.
And is it? And
Like,
I don't
it was
want you.
just different.
I don't want you to get into the politics of it because I know you know better and
Yeah.
we know better than that, right? Because that's just not our place, and
Nah.
you know, to be doing that, you
Yeah.
know. And it's just out of respect for the game, you know. I mean, regardless of where you're at in your life, you still have to, you know, you got to watch yourself, even if you're in the free world.
Yeah,
bro.
I know what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not telling you that. I'm telling the the
Yeah.
audience, right? Would you say that it's because maybe when you go to a 4 yard, there's a lot more lifers there?
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, I didn't even like to tell. I had 5 years at the time, and like the homies would come and, hey, how much time you got, big dog? I'm like, shit, I'm just passing through, big dog. Like, you know what I mean? I'll be out of here soon, like, you know, because everybody over there had life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's maybe few homies there that didn't.
Yeah.
Like, everybody had life, so like it was just way different from a 3 yard to a 4 yard, and especially like a 180. And they sent me to a 180 because I did a little shoe term right there in the hole over there. Like, I did an assault on an inmate over there at the at Tuolumne Yard, at the 3 yard.
They got you sent over to the 4-yard.
That's what got me sent to the 4-yard. I was doing my thing, like I said, and some dude kind of put me out there. They're like, oh, well, you see this guy always going to the door, sliding shit under. Told the cops, and I was like, what? I had a Puerto Rican dude that used to like look out for me and shit, and he told me what was going on. He's like, hey, I heard this fool telling the cop, like this is what's up. And I was like, what? So he was another race, so I went and told the white boys, like, hey, bro, like, this fool fucking went and told this dude what was going on, you know, like, what's up? And it was one of the dudes that I was real cool with. Like, me and him had, we had dealings and shit on the yard. So I was like, hey, bro, like, what's up with that shit? And he's like, nah, don't worry, I'll take care of it. But he was older. This dude was already like, shit. I mean, at the time, I was like 20 now, maybe 20, 19, 20. And he went and like, he hit the dude like 3 or 4 times, like, bap, bap, bap. Like, hey, don't worry about, like, stay out of this fool's business. He's like, you good? I got him. I'm like, what? You didn't get him. Like, hold on, you know? So I went into my cell and I packed my shit up. I told my cellie, like, hey, I'm going to go get that fool. Like, you know? So I went over there. When they opened the cell, I went in there and I beat that fool up, you know? So I just went in there and I just took off on him. But I think I was 19 and he was like 38, 40. So I'm already like, damn, hopefully this fool don't try to, like, you know, hopefully he don't get me, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I know I gotta go do something, you know what I'm saying? So I went in there and I fucked his ass up. He didn't even fight back. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I got this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Took off on him. His cellie ran out of the fucking cell. I beat that fool up. And that fool went and, like, PC'd up. He went to the fucking cops and told them that I beat him up. So they came and swooped me up and shit. So they didn't even get to, like, swoop me up, to be honest. They came and we knew another dude that worked in the unit office, and that fool came and told me during lockdown. We were at waiting to go to dinner, and the fool came during lockdown and he knocked on my door and he was like, hey, did you beat this dude up earlier? I'm like, nah, why, what's up? He's like, well, he went and told on you. And I'm like, what? He's like, but don't worry. I told the lieutenant that I got it, that I know you, that I'm going to talk to you and tell you to leave him alone. I'm like, oh, yeah, for real? Good looking out, bro. He's like, all right, everything's good? I'm like, yeah, everything's good. So as soon as they opened our doors to go to chow, I just went out there and beat that fool up in the day room in front of everybody.
You got it again.
Yeah, I got him again because I knew they were going to come get me. I'm like, how's this fool going to be able to tell the cops not to come get me?
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to beat this fool up. I'm not going to, like, to the hole for free, you know?
Yeah.
So I ran out there and I beat that fool up in front of everybody. And they put the yard down, came, got me, took me to the hole. And after you do a shoe term, and it was stupid because I did like a 90-day shoe term right there in that hole, because at that time, that's when all that Corcoran shit was going on, where they were setting up different races to, like, fight with each other and all that shit.
Yeah, the cockfights and stuff.
So they weren't sending people over there like that. So I just did my shit quick right there in that shoe. And then they send me back out to the yard pending transfer to level 4 to the 180. Because anybody that does a shoe term, you got to go to a 180 after that. At least to, like, I guess to, I don't know, check it out, or I don't know.
Work your way down back down the ladder.
Yeah, to work your way back.
Yeah, they're going to put you in the highest
So
level.
that's what they did. They sent me over there to Salinas Valley in 97. So I was in Salinas Valley from 97 to the beginning of 2000 when I got out.
So your pro day comes, you get out.
Yeah.
You know, and what is life like for you?
Well, like I did all my time. So I did 5 years on 5. So it wasn't like there's no good time involved. There's no, So keep in mind, like I went to jail thinking that I was going to do halftime. So I thought I was going to be out in like 97. Now I'm getting out in 2000, And like I said, for me, when I first went to jail, I felt like it was forever. I felt like, 5 years, I went to jail, didn't have no mustache, none of that shit was coming in, Came out with a little mustache, little goatee, I was always bald, so came out with a little bit of hair, trying to like be cool and shit, And it was just different out there. Like just in them 5 years I was gone, like a lot changed, Like
a lot of the crack era had went away.
Yeah, for sure. The crack era went away for sure. Like I came out thinking still like selling drugs, because that's what I knew. So I came out like, all right, cool. I can get back into selling crack and make some money. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, did you ever think about getting out and getting a job? Or was your first thing was like, I'm going to get out and do what I know, do what I do?
Well, I got out. I went to my stepdad's house. Like my stepdad's wife came and picked me up over there in Salinas Valley. So it wasn't like, and at that time we were already into it tough with the Bulldogs, like we ended up getting into it with them on our yard. So like there was a lot of tension on the yard, So I was like happy to go home, you know what I mean? There was a lot of shit going on over there. Like
you were lucky to go home.
Yeah, for real. Real. I'm not gonna be like, oh nah, like shit. Like nah, for real. It was felt blessed to be able to go home. You know what I mean? There's that like gelling, like a lot of people think like oh, they gave you 4 years or 2 years and you're just gonna go and come back out. I mean, for a lot of people, yeah, that's the way it is. But for some, like, hell nah. Like, you go in, you pick up more time. Like, you can get involved in different shit. You can get killed. Like, there's riots going on in there. There's, different shit going on, different gang shit, there's a bunch of shit going on. Like, it ain't as simple as people think, Like, sometimes you listen to people and they're like, oh, well, you're lucky you're in there. Like, your rent's paid. You get free food. Hell nah. There's a lot more going on than that, And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand, like, we're in there dealing with a lot of shit. And those that get to make it out, like, we're grateful to be out here. You know what I mean? We're happy to make it out.
And that's the California prison system for you right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I made it back out. My stepdad's wife, Mary, went and picked me up. And, they tell you when they're like, oh, don't come into no police contact because you can get a violation and this and that, So my stepdad's wife, Mary, picked us up with my sister and with my brother, So, like, we're coming home, 100 miles an hour on the freeway. That Dre, the Chronic 2000 just came out, so we're bumping that shit. They're like, look at this new CD that just came out. We're bumping that shit on the way back. I'm like, damn, feeling that shit. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? We get pulled over, dog, and I'm like, I'm going back to jail? Like, no. But, yeah, dog, we got pulled over, and it was just, driving too fast and shit. She was driving like over 100 miles an hour, dog, on the freeway trying to get us back. Salinas Valley is a little drive away from LA, So they picked me up like at 4:30, 5 in the morning or some shit. So we were coming back and we got a speeding ticket and shit. But I thought like, oh, it's going back to jail time, So that's
couple hours after.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm like, fuck, I'm already knowing it's about to go down over there that day. Like, I was happy. Like, I got out on the day that they was about to do a riot, you know? So it was like, fuck, you know? Motherfucker made it, you know? Like, for real.
You got that Willy Wonka golden ticket.
Ain't no lie. Like, no bullshit. Like, and then it went down that day. Like, you know, the homies that were there, they hit me back like, fuck. It went down, you know? But, yeah, it was just different, dog. I got home and, like, you know, my mom, we went to my stepdad's house and, like, everybody was telling me what's up. You know, my mom was telling me, like, stay away from the hood, like, don't, you know. But I live in the hood. She's taking me back to the hood, but we're in my stepdad's house over there in Clanton's hood, you know. We're chilling and she's telling me, like, don't be around your friends and, like, chill out, you know. Like, I'm like, all right, Mom, you know, we'll see what's up. You know, and as soon as we leave my stepdad's, we pull up at the pad. The homies are right there waiting for me and shit, you know. Criminal and Clown are right there and like, what up, fool? I'm like, shit, let's roll. We jumped in the car and we were out, you know. So shit, it was back on, you know. We're in the hood. We're back doing it, you know, and
that's where this episode ends.
Tune in next time if you guys want to see what.
Tune in next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Thanks, Casey, for really interrupting that. It's funny though.
It was a perfect moment.
Fuck you, Casey.
So you're back at it, and you got to figure out how to get back on your feet. I mean, when you pro, they give you $200 gate money, correct?
Yeah, they gave me $200 gate money. My sister went and picked me up. She gave me I think 2 racks or $1,500 or some shit. My brother gave me $1,500 or some. So I had I think I had 3,000 on my books. Like I said, I was always in there doing good. Like I wasn't like bummed out or none of that shit. So. Like I already came out with some money, you know? And then my mom gave me some money. And then the whole time I've been down, once my mom knew I was coming out, she started buying me like an outfit or two, every time she got her checks and shit. Like she was working already, doing pretty good in Target. So she'll work and she started buying me clothes and shit. So I came out, I had a bunch of clothes already. I had money, so, you know, I wasn't starting, from scratch. I maybe came out maybe with, 6 racks in my pocket or something, you know, 7,000 in my pocket, a whole wardrobe already. Like I said, my mom's from the hood, so, you know, she's not from my hood, but she's from the hood. She knows what it is, you know, so she already had me G'd up, you know. I had all the G'd up shit, baby cuffed up already. She went and hooked it all up, you know? All my shit was ready. You know what I'm saying? So she had all my clothes ready for me and shit. So I told you I went with the homies and it was cool, dog. You know, they took me to the same spots. You know, I went to fucking Ina's house right there on fucking Burwood, you know? And, you know, I told this shit on Dying to See Me, you know, I was like, you know, I went over there and she's like, Droopy, I don't get high no more. I'm like, what? You don't get high? Fuck yeah, that's right, Ina. Everything good? She's like, yeah. Yeah, I'll be fucking with meth now. I'm like, what?
and in the hood, so we helped Ina. We helped Ina get off the crack.
Yeah.
Which was she was horrible on. Rest in peace to Ina. I love that lady so much. It
was a spot. It was another hood spot.
Loved the Campbell family, period. Loved the Campbell family.
Much respects to them.
Yeah.
For 100%.
1,000%.
Rest in peace, Ina.
And not everybody in the Campbell family likes me, and it's okay, but I have love for that entire family, straight up, because of Ina and a couple people out of that family. You know what I mean? But check it out. Ina, love that lady so much. I can't stop saying how much I love that lady. We got her off the crack because she was bad on the crack. But once we got her on the meth that we were fucking with, man, she was honestly, I'll be honest. She was always a good mom, but she was a great mom now.
Yeah, she
was
always
productive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
but she always
was
did.
productive as fuck.
But
You know what I
nobody
mean?
can ever say like she didn't have her shit. Like she
No,
always had
always,
a pad. She
always.
always had a like everything
Always.
was great.
Always, and
Like,
that's why I don't want this to get.
Yeah,
I don't want
this
this
is
to
never
get
nothing like that.
Yeah, I don't want this to get confused. But if I'll say this in general, let me say this in general. If somebody is smoking crack and trying to maintain a family, and you walk into that household back in them days, it's a little fucked up. But if they happen to get off the crack and on the methamphetamine, it's a whole different thing. She's cooking 5-course meals now. Nobody's eating it except the kids and Kevin O'Green.
Nah, I'm just saying like for my whole point of that is like everybody out here transitioned from like crack to meth. So my getting out thinking was like, I'm going to get out and still sell crack because that's what I knew. Like, I didn't know nothing else. I didn't know, like, any other drugs to sell because to me, when I went to jail, selling crack was the money. Like, yeah, you can sell weed or whatever, but you need a whole bunch of weed at that time to make money. You know, like, you can sell acid or whatever, but people are coming to buy, like, hey, give me like 2 acid tabs, like me and the homie, you know, like people are coming for crack. They're like, give me a 50, give me 100, give me 200, you know? So to me, crack was always the money. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking to sell crack, you know? So when I got out, I was thinking, okay, sell crack, you know? And the homies are like, nah, fool, meth. And I'm like, what? Like I don't know nothing about that shit, you know? Like, how the fuck I'm gonna sell something I don't know? And like, man, just buy a scale and like, we'll show you like, this is the shit now, you know? So that's what I did, dog. I got into selling meth.
I mean, the fundamentals of selling drugs doesn't necessarily change from one to the other, except maybe the type of clientele, the flow of the clientele, you know what I mean? But if you have the basic fundamentals of knowing how to do it, like crack, you know what I mean? I think crack relates a lot more to meth because people will come back and forth to get meth. Like crack.
Yeah.
I mean, not as frequent as crack, because crack you need, like crack don't last long. You need crack on crack on crack on crack. But meth, I mean, meth users are very enthused they're determined to, and they're productive in their own way, right? Might sound stupid, but I said in their own way. And man, they'll bring you some good shit too. You know,
everybody though, you know, all drugs, motherfuckers that bring you what you need, you know. So all you gotta do is tell anybody that's getting high, like, hey, I need this, you know what I mean, and they're gonna bring you what you want.
So was Lucky the first sack sold out?
Nah, Lucky was in jail.
Oh.
Lucky was in jail when I first got out.
Yeah, was Lucky.
Yeah, he was in jail. Lucky was in jail.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when did you meet Lucky? If we could rewind that, maybe.
Right around that time, though.
No, before.
No,
that.
I knew him before I got, like, I was fucking with Lucky before.
He went to prison.
Before I went to prison, like
Yeah.
we told you that, like we said it in the story.
Yeah, and we were in juvenile halls together.
Yeah, we were in juvenile hall, and I was in juvenile hall with Nick. Like we were,
sir.
but like when I first got out in 2000, Lucky was in jail too
Yeah,
at that time.
prison.
Yeah.
So they put you up on game about the meth. Meth is.
That's the new drug.
It's the new drug, and
Yeah.
it's what everybody's fucking with. If you want to make money, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and so you get on that.
Well, yeah. I went to motherfucking the little smoke shop right there in the hood. Bought a little teeter-totter scale. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the teeter-totter scales.
Whoa, little purple one. You know what I mean? Little purple teeter-totter. Bought that shit and went and bought a fucking 8-ball and got to work. You know what I'm saying?
What did you turn that 8-ball into? And we can talk about that because you caught a big case over it. But what did you turn? What did you turn that getting out that time? What did you turn that 8-ball into?
Well, by the time I caught my next case, I was selling anywhere between like 100 to 200 pounds a week of methamphetamine from an 8-ball. You know what I mean? And I mean, that shit's documented, you know, you can go check it out. You know what I mean? So it ain't no like, oh yeah, okay. But you know, like, I mean, that just is what it is. Like, it started from an 8-ball, you know? Like, I went and checked it out. You know, like I said, I always give everybody love. So the homies were like, hey, you know, you sell by the point. You know, it's 2 points, you know, for a 20. I'm like, shit, I'm giving 3 points. Everybody come to me, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll be asleep, and they'll call me like, hey, I need a 40. Like, I'm pulling up.
Were you fucking? And you weren't fucking with the meth?
Nah, I never got high on no meth.
It wasn't your shit.
Nah,
I mean,
it wasn't my.
Yeah.
From 2000 when I got out, that was it. I didn't get high no more, because I knew the severity of jail. So to me, like I said, like once I got to that level 4, that 180, I was like, oh shit, like this is jail, like this is bad right here. So I wasn't gonna go back for a dirty test. I'm like, I'm not going back to jail for a dirty test. Like, I'm good on that shit, you know? So
was your mentality go big or go home?
Nah, I was just more focused on, like I said, I've always been focused on the getting money aspect of it. Like, it was, like, so for me, like, once I started getting money, like, that was my high. Like, I felt like I'll get high on that, you know? Like, hey, I was getting high by getting money. Like, when I first got out, I started, like, smoke bud, because they didn't care about bud in the state at that time. You know, I don't know how it is now, but I know that everybody, when I was getting out, they're like, hey, you could smoke weed, you know? And I'm like, fuck it. So I'll drink, smoke bud, you know? So I did that for a little bit, just smoke bud and drink. But, like, I never did no serious drugs like that. Like,
did you ever touch crack again?
Nah, never. Nah. I mean, I went to jail one time, and they had some shit in there, but like, other than that, like, as far like out here, like getting high, like on crack or anything like that, like, nah, I was already chilling, you know?
And so now you're working your way up the ladder from that 8-ball to X amount of pounds a week.
Yeah.
Right. And how was that journey, you know, doing that? Can we tell that story? Because that's a documented federal case.
Yeah, it's a federal case. But I mean, like, for real, it was just like getting back what I was used to doing, like, you know. And I got out, like, when I got out in 2000, like, that shit was bad in the hood. Like, that shit was already, like, you know, I used to run into dudes in jail from different gangs and shit. Like, you know, we don't have to mention them, but like, they used to tell me where they were from, and there was really nothing over there no more. I'm like, damn, that's where you from? Like, you know, and I was like, fuck, like, when's the last time you were over there, fool? Type shit, you know, because some of these dudes were older. And so when I got out, it wasn't good in the hood. Like, I mean, you know, it was kind of hard in 2000. Like, when I got out, like, there wasn't a lot of homies actually living in the hood and active, you know, and like running around. You know, like I said, you were in jail at the time. There were a lot of homies in jail, and then there was a lot of people like either in jail or not there, like not actually living in the hood, you know. So, and like I said, I was younger than all the rest of the homies. So, like, I was like, fuck, like, we gotta turn this shit up. Like, we gotta get this shit going. And I got out with good intentions, like, not wanting to be out there, like, causing trouble, gang banging and shit. But, like, my first day out, like, my enemies pulled up at the pad, like, hey, this is us now, and this is what it is. And, like what? Like, fuck what you fools are talking about. What's up? And it just, like, went up from there for real, you know? Like, I just went, like, right back at it, like, if I never left and shit, you know?
Yeah. And so Is it safe to say during this period that you're out, you created an enterprise?
Shit, that's what the Fed said. The Fed said that shit. They continuing criminal enterprise. You know what I mean? But like for real, like we just I started selling drugs. Like I started selling, and then there was always homies selling in the hood. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm the only one that ever sold drugs or nothing like that. But like. For me not using at that time and then understanding, like I said, I've always understood to give love, give more than what's expected to be given. It was easy to start making more money than everybody else, yeah. And I know a lot of people from being in jail for them 5 years. So that helped too. Like it just helped like to enterprise, to fuck with different hoods, to fuck with different people. Like, different dudes that were already out here doing it good from other hoods. They already knew me from juvenile hall. They knew me from jail. So it was easy, dog. It was easy to like keep that shit rolling,
And this is, I want to ask you this. It was easy because somehow, some way, your personality, just the person that you are, period, it's always been easy for you to maintain good relationships with dysfunctional people. Is that safe to say?
I fuck with everybody, dog. And like, I'm sure like a lot of people out there like could relate to a lot of the shit I'm saying. Like, this isn't just like me telling a story like, you're like, yeah, right. Like, how can you have done that? Like, like a lot of people have lived this shit. This ain't just me like making some shit up or telling you some shit. Like,
you didn't
motherfuckers that, yeah, this is just how it is,
But
like,
is it hard? Because it has always been hard for me to maintain good relationships that could potentially would have put me at a plateau of being a good drug dealer. For some reason, you were always able. But at this time, you're not getting high. And your objective is money, so you see things at a clear head.
Yeah.
What puts you above everybody else that you're dealing with, because everybody else that you're dealing with
is getting
high. I mean, is it hard being a sober dude, being around all these people that are high? At the time?
Not for me, not for real. It wasn't
because you grew up with that.
Yeah, I grew up with it. Like, I was already used to it. So like, don't get me wrong. I like to get high. Like, I like that shit. But it was a lot more my freedom. What, like I said, like when I got to that 180 yard, that shit was like a whole different animal over there. I know a lot of people like, oh, like any jail's the same or any of that shit. But like some of that shit, like people that were there in Salinas Valley at that time, they knew like that shit was cracking. You know what I'm saying? So like I really didn't want to go back there for a dirty test.
Yeah.
Because I know that dirty test could lead to me going back over there and potentially picking up a life sentence or some shit like that. And I would have felt dumb as fuck. Like, oh, you got life because, like, why were you here? Oh, because I was getting high in my hood. Like, nah, I couldn't see it for me. Like, I mean, I know everybody's different or whatever, but, I just couldn't see it. So I didn't do it,
How was it as you gradually progressed in this time that you were out? How long were you out from getting out from Salinas Valley to catching that federal case? How many years was that?
On and off for I got out in 2000, the first week of 2000, and I got busted on my federal case in April 19th of 2006.
Okay, so during that time, what were the kind of like, if we can measure it from how do I say it? Let me say it like this: if we can measure All right, brother. If we can measure the progression of climbing that ladder of selling dope, like so to speak, like you went from no car to a Honda Accord to this to that to that. Like, how would you say it if you can just sum it up?
All right, I got out. I got IROC because that's what was cool when I went to jail. So I went to jail in 95. The IROCs were cool. So I got out in 2000, and I'm like, shit, I got to get me an IROC. So I got an IROC, you know. So I got the IROC, and from that time I did two violations, and I fought one. I think they were trying to they tried to give me a case
within that time of getting out from Salinas Valley. So you did 2 violations?
2 violations plus I fought a case.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up doing I got out for 6 months. I ended up having to fight a case of terrorist threats on gang members. Somebody said I threatened them, so I went to jail. So I took it to jury trial and I beat it. So I did 6 months at that time, you know. And then I got out for maybe a year, and then I got a 4-month violation for being around gang members. I got pulled over, one of my homies in the car. But all this time, like, I'm active, I'm out here selling dope, gang banging, like running the streets.
And it's still rolling while you're doing these violations.
The whole thing.
It's still rolling.
Every time it's still rolling.
Yeah.
Like, nothing ever stopped, you know? Like, I'm still going to jail. I'm still active. I'm still doing my shit. You know, like, shit still being sold. Like, it still is what it is, you know? So I get out, get busted again. I think I got out for like 9 days or some shit again, like some stupid ass shit. And then I did a year violation. They did some more. They were trying to get me for some murders, and but they kind of like found me guilty for the murders in board. So it's like stupid ass shit. They're like, oh, well, it's known in the hood that Drewps from Highland Park killed these guys, so we're gonna give you a violation because you're Drewps from Highland Park. I'm like, that's some dumbass shit. Like, the cops ain't pressing the fucking issue on me, but you're gonna give me a violation. So they gave me a violation. I went to Calipat. I did a year flat in Calipat. So on A-Yard back in 2002 to 2003. And then from there, I got out and like nothing ever happened, you know. I had a what was it, a Q45 Infinity spinners. That's what was cool at that time, you know.
Sick.
Spinners. Everybody had spinners on their shit. I had spinners on that. I had spinners on my Escalade. I had, you know what I mean? That's when I just started balling, like, for real.
You got
like,
out that time. That's when you started balling.
Yeah,
because during that time, everything was always flowing.
I was flowing. I was good. I was doing shit. But like when I got out in 2003, like from Calipat, from there I just started balling because, like, it was just like, I just turned all the way up because it was right about.
All right, we're good. Keep going.
I was like, I think I was like the second person in the hood, like with TVs and all that shit in the car and shit. You know what I mean? Spinners, TVs in the car, like everybody knew.
Let me ask you a question, bro. And I don't mean to cut you out, but I am going to cut you out, brother. During this time of doing violations and stuff, I mean, nothing's crossing your mind to saying, hey, you know what, maybe I should change my ways and stop what I'm doing. Did that ever cross your mind?
I mean, like I already started having kids and shit at that time. So, like, of course, I was, like, trying to think of like, doing good and, like, chilling out. But I lived in the hood. So, like Like, all right, I'd say, all right, like, fuck, I should just chill and be cool. And then I'm going to drive to the store and motherfuckers are gangbanging on me, shooting at me with my chick in the car, with my kids in the car. So I'm like, all right, you motherfuckers want to play? All right, I got that. So I would just, like, get back on it. Like, fuck it then.
Did you ever feel like, you know what, this is who I am and I can't stop doing what I'm doing because this is what I'm known for, and when I get out, I have an obligation to be me?
I wouldn't say it like that, but it was just like I can't lie, like it was what I like to do. Like I like that shit. Like I like to write on the wall. I like gang banging. I like, you know, being from the hood. Like, you know what I mean? I got my hood all over my body. Everybody sees that shit. Like my shit's everywhere. You know what I mean?
But
like,
for somebody that doesn't understand that, and they think of it as a loser mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For someone that doesn't understand it, and maybe they won't understand it if you gave them a definition of it. But let's just say, bro, like when you say, hey, this is what I like to do. I like to gangbang. And on the contrary, people are saying, well, why do you like playing with your life and risking your life? If they asked you that, what would be your answer to it?
Well, I didn't feel like that's what I was doing. I just felt like, you know.
You're having fun.
Yeah, I was just out here.
You're living life.
You know what I mean? That's what I grew up knowing. Like I told you, like I grew up with that shit, like from a kid. So it wasn't like something I wasn't.
It wasn't
like,
abnormal.
Yeah, it was something I was used to. Like I was used to this shit. Like it was it's what I grew up around. Like my mom's a gang member, my dad's a gang member, my stepdad was a gang member, my next stepdad was a gang member. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was used to like selling drugs, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was used to doing. Like it wasn't nothing like abnormal to me. Like I can see like if I was doing good and then I just started like fucking up because of this or that, like that's what I was used to doing. You know what I mean? Like from back in the Tagger days, like that's what we were on. We were always used to like running the streets, chilling with the homies. Like that's what we grew up doing.
Did you just growing up, I mean, it's a competitive sport. If some of you guys like to hear it or not, check it out. Some dudes grow up playing basketball. Some dudes grow up gangbanging, tagging, running the streets. It's a competitive sport. If you were a basketball player on a team, I mean, what kind of player would you be on the streets?
Like LeBron, I'm coming back next year.
Whoa.
You know? Like, look at LeBron. Like, motherfuckers don't want, they're like, hey, I'll be here next year. Like, we're going to go one more. Like, you know?
You always felt like that.
Well, that's what everybody's always feeling.
Did you always feel like you needed to hold that title and you were trying to get that title?
Honestly, I never was looking for a title. Like, honestly, I never looked for that shit. I was never trying to be like, oh, I'm that dude over here. I was never on that shit. It just, like, it came about just from being over there. Like being from the hood, like from our hood, like, I mean, I'm sure everybody's hoods is different, you know? Like, we never had like, no, this is our leader or this is the next in command, or like, we never did no shit like that. You know what I mean? So like, it was just like doing what you had to do at the time, like for you or for the homies, or, you know, we've had people go to jail for life. We have people dead, you know, so.
Did you ever feel like a leader?
I never tried to be a leader, I'll tell you that. Like, I never try to be like, hey, I'm the boss of you or no shit like that. Never.
People flocked to you because of who you were and how you did it. Is that safe to say?
I think a lot of people fucked with me because I fucked with them, you know.
And how did you fuck with them? I mean, you were nice to them?
I was out there with them.
Okay.
Like, you know, like a lot of people, like some people will tell you like, hey, go do this, go do that. I'll be like, hey, let's go do this or let's go do that. Like, I'm gonna roll with you.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm gonna go with you too, and I'm the guy in the hood with all the money and all the whatever, like, how the fuck you ain't gonna go?
That hits different. And
Yeah.
that gives you a different type
If
of respect
I'm going,
in the hood.
like I'm going. You know, I'm not telling you I'm not gonna go. I'm not telling you like, hey, I got the money, so you gotta go. I'm telling you, let's go in my car. We're going in my car.
With the
You know what I'm
spinners?
saying?
With the spinners?
With all my cars been shot up before. I ain't never had no car that never been shot up except the one I'm driving right now.
All right, good. I was in
Amen
that car.
to that, baby.
You know?
And we ain't gonna get that one shot up.
Like real shit. You know? I ain't never had no car like all my cars been shot up. You know? Because I've been in the hood active in them. You know? Like right now is a whole different time and shit. But like all them times that we're talking about, like I was out there, dog. I was out there running the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can't be like, oh yeah, fucking this, that. Like, nah, motherfuckers know.
2003, you get up and you get out and you said, "Fuck it, I'm turning this shit all the way up.
All the way up.
I'm going full force.
First day,
I ain't playing
turned
with
up.
it. I had a year to think about this shit,
And I'm turning it up.
and I'm turning this shit up.
Yeah.
How did you turn that up?
First day out, on it. First day out, pulled up. I was pulling into my pad. My enemies were right there gangbanging on my neighbors. I'm like, what? Chased them down. You know what I'm saying? First day out. First day. Like, I didn't even get to pull in my pad yet and see my kids. And that night, we shot up the whole apartments next door to my house. That night, same night I got out, we shot out the whole apartments next door to my house. Motherfuckers know I'm Fayette. They know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And so as you progressed into the game, this time getting out of the 2003, no fucks given, obviously. You know, I mean, you don't even see your
Nah,
kids.
I give a fuck though. I can't. I'm not gonna be on here like I don't give a fuck. Like I love my kids. I love my family. Like I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I've just always been out there. So that's like I'm not gonna let nobody invade my space. My space. You know, like you can do whatever you want over there. Like don't do that shit over here. Like my shit. This is my shit right here.
Because I'm out now.
Oh, I'm here. This is
Yeah.
my space. I'm back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is what it is. Like, if I told you not to do this shit right here and you're doing it, then I'm going to stand on what I told you and we're going to go from there.
So you're out now. You're turning it up a fucking 100 notches. I mean, where do you go from now, from then to the point of catching that federal case? You know, what was that in between right there?
That was that whole time, dog. I got out.
How did you progress from living in that house on Fayette? I mean, did you move to another house?
Yeah,
I mean, did you accumulate other
Well, I
assets?
kept getting raided on Fayette. Like, the cops kept coming to the hood. Like, I was in the main spot in the hood, worst block in the hood. Like, they just kept raiding my house.
What are they raiding your house for?
Drugs, guns, being a gang member.
And they're not finding nothing?
They're not finding nothing. Not nothing. They're searching the whole house, raiding the house.
With your kids there?
Kids there, baby mama there.
Do your
Like,
kids remember that?
My kids didn't even remember me being out of jail.
Okay.
My kids didn't even remember me being out of jail. When I got my fed, like my stepdaughter remembers me, but like my kids didn't remember me being like, I would ask my kids like, hey, what do you remember about me? They're like, Dad, I remember we used to go to your jail and throw balloons, and we used to like, nah, but I took you to Hawaii. I took you everywhere. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, they didn't.
So
they were young, dog. I went to jail when my kids were 1, 4, and 10. So my stepdaughter was 10. Like, so she remembers me. Like, she remembers like when we were doing good, like the good times and shit like that. But like my kids didn't remember none of that.
How
shit.
was it going to Hawaii during that time? I mean, obviously it was from, you know, the money that you're
balling.
making on
We
the
were
streets.
chilling. It
You're
was
balling.
love.
That's what
Is that
that's
your first time on a plane?
My first time on a plane was
that-
going to Hawaii, dog, when I got married. Yeah, I got married in Hawaii. So I flew from Vegas to Hawaii. So that was my first time on a plane. But I've been to Hawaii 8 times. The last time,
You've been to Hawaii how many times?
8 times.
8 times during that time you were out?
Yeah.
Why did you go so many times to Hawaii and
Because
not
I
anywhere
like
else?
Hawaii. That shit is fucking love, dog.
What do you like about Hawaii? I've
That
never
shit
been
is-
to Hawaii. Tell me
That
about
shit
it.
is clean, dog. Like it's a good atmosphere, dog. The cops are cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you be walking by a cop car and you smell bud. Like, what the fuck? They're smoking bud in the cop car. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool, dog. Like, my last time I was in Hawaii, I was there for 2 months, dog. I went over there. I bought a little car, and then I bought
You bought a car in Hawaii.
well, because you can rent a car, but that shit's gonna cost money, dog. So I went and I bought a little. I think first I was gonna buy it because I was used to having good cars. So I was gonna buy a Jaguar
In Hawaii.
in
On
Hawaii.
vacation.
Yeah, on vacation.
That's balling right there. That's balling. Going on vacation and buying a car in Hawaii. What are you
yeah.
going to do with the car afterwards?
No, my uncle lived over there, so I
Okay.
was like, I was just thinking like this. I'm like, look, I can come over here, buy the car, drive it around over here. When I leave, I can sell it and get my money back. I'll be good, So I was like, I'm gonna buy this Jaguar, and my baby.
How much was the Jaguar?
10 racks.
Okay.
It was a cool one. At the time, it was like a cool little Jaguar. I was driving down the street, car for sale. Like, what? I'm like, and I
How much cash did you have on you? Did you have cash on you?
had 40,000 cash on me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I used to have always like 100,000 worth of diamonds on me every day. Like, Rolex, all this shit. Like, like people know me, dog. This ain't like, oh, he's lying or.
This ain't fake news.
Yeah, this ain't fake news to nobody. Like everybody knows what it was. Like
I mean, how when you travel with 40, what you said $40,000?
yeah, 40,000.
What kind of bag do you need with $40,000?
Nothing. 10 racks in front pocket. Like motherfuckers have money, dog. Like
I don't know that money, bro.
look, easily, dog. I'd always have 5,000 in my wallet. Easy, always 5,000 in my wallet. I'd have 10,000 on the other side just to keep. So when you sit down, like how you shit don't feel right, like put 10,000 on the other side.
So
it'll match
you
up.
always got to sit down and it don't feel right.
Nah, well, because it was like
'Cause-
right
but-
now I got my wallet in my pocket
What do you-
because the shit don't feel right.
What do you got in your wallet right
You know?
now? I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead, bro.
I don't know, probably like 2,000.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's hard-earned money now.
That's hard-earned money
Let's
right
go,
now.
baby.
That's real money right
Hard-earned
now.
money now.
Yeah, I think I got like 2,000. Let me see. Tell you right. Nah, I probably only have 1,000 right now. But let me see.
How does it feel to work for your money now?
Look at that shit. There it is.
Yeah, spend that shit. Christmas.
How does it feel to work for your money now?
Shit, you already know, dog. I be working that shit. Look, I got calluses on my hands now. This shit's fucking crazy.
Boy
if I
got
go
a
back
union
to
job.
jail, how am I
Shout
gonna
out-
do
shout out
that,
to
dog?
Toto.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Like,
So you're in Hawaii. You gone there 8 times. You buy a Jaguar. I mean, you're living a life. You're off of Fayette now. Where you at
no,
now?
well, the last time they raided me, right? So they kept raiding me in the hood, right? So the last time they came, I wasn't even there. Like, the little homies ran my pad. I guess they did something for me real quick, and they pulled somebody over down the street. They got caught with 4 ounces down the street from the pad, right? Some Asian dude. So I'm pulling back up to the pad. I don't know. I see the cops pulling over one of the homies. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck they pulling him over for? I just got a CTS from the homie from Cuatro Flats, right? So I pull up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump in my Infinity because that bitch is in my name. The CTS ain't in my name. The cops don't know about this one yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in my Infinity, the Q45. They know about this one. So I jump in that bitch. I pull up. And the cops pull up on every direction on me, dog. So I already know they're going to raid my house. That's how they do it. So I call the little homies. I'm like, hey, fool, they're going to raid the pad. Like, put that shit up, So they take me back to the pad, cuffed up in my car, baby mama pregnant with my daughter, Karina. Take me back to the pad. Come in the pad. My brother lives with me. They're like, nah. He told them, nah, you ain't got a search warrant. You can't come in. So they come back to the car. They get my motherfucking keys. They go in. They open the door.
Without a search warrant?
No search warrant, dog. They just like, hey, we're coming in this bitch. Like, this is us. We can do what we want. So boom, they go in my pad, take me in, cuff me up. I'm cuffed up in my pad, fool. They let my kids. They take the 2 little homies to jail. You know, they took the homie Big Shooter. They took the homie Goofy. Boom, took them to jail. They were in my house. So they searched the pad. They searched the pad, dog. No search warrant. I'm cuffed up watching. I'm like, hey, where's your search warrant at? They're like, nah, you're on parole. I'm like, I'm not on parole no more. You can't even come in my pad no more.
No problem.
Like when I got out from Calipat, I got out in September. So I only had 3 more months. In January, I got off probation. So, or parole or whatever. So during that time, they rated me 9 days to getting off, fool. 9 days of getting off. Before that, they raid me. They search the pad. They don't find nothing. So they never found shit in my pad. They never found no drugs. But they see me flossing, fool. I always had good shit. You know how my pad was, fool. Motherfucker had sea-doos and all kind of shit in the motherfucking driveway, dog.
Marble statues?
Yeah, like, nah, I didn't. I lived in a back pad. It wasn't like no fucking mansion pad in the hood. Like, I lived in the back pad, but I had a bunch of good cars there, fool. Like, I had nice cars in the hood, you know? So, nice trucks, you know? So, you know, it's TVs, all that shit in my shit, dog. Spinners on my trucks, you know? Airbags on the trucks,
yeah.
you know? That's what was cool at the time, you know? So, they came in, searched, didn't find nothing, had to let me go. They were trying to give me a violation, but I had 9 more days to discharge. So then the next time they came, they caught somebody leaving my pad. They said, oh, well, we know he bought drugs from you. The dude said, nah, I didn't buy shit from this fool. You know? I wasn't even there. They know I wasn't there. So when I pull up, that's when they bring me back to my pad. They had me in my pad from 4 in the afternoon till 6 in the morning, cuffed up in my house. We're watching on my big screen, all the cameras in my pad. They're like, oh, this is how you know that we're coming, huh? Because, you know, I had all the fucking split screens on the cameras and shit. So they're watching my shit. And the cop, he brings, when he got there, he was like, hey, do you have any money? I had $5,000 in my pocket. So I told my little homie, hey, go put this in the top drawer. I'm going to go see, they're pulling over one of the homies on the corner. So I gave him the money. So I thought, he goes, you have any money in the house? I could say, yeah, like $5,000 in my top drawer, you know, like nothing, you know. So I'm thinking it's in there. So I told the cop. So he's like, he calls me after all this shit. Like my whole time I'm telling them like, hey, get the fuck out of my house. They're like, nah, you're being detained. You're being detained. Like we're not searching. I'm like, I watched you search my shit. They're like, nah, we didn't search nothing. I'm like, yeah, all right. So they're in there chilling with me. I'm cuffed up. I go to sleep on the couch. Finally, they wake me up like at 6 in the morning. They're like, here's your search warrant. You want a search warrant? Here it is. That's just like fucking 14 hours later, they got a search warrant. So he gives it to me. I'm like, cool, search the pad. I know there ain't nothing there. I don't keep shit in my pad. Here, go ahead, search this bitch. So he searches it. He comes back to me. He was like, look, man, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I used to see you driving around with TVs and spinners on your shit. And I used to tell the partners, like, yeah, we're going to get this motherfucker. He's going to jail. You know? He said, but I'm not going to lie to you, man. You're fucking smart. I don't know how you're doing it, but we didn't find shit, you know? Yeah. He said, but you're not going to make me look stupid like this next time. He said, the next time I come to your house, you're going to jail because I'm going to find drugs. I go, you're not going to find no drugs. I don't got no drugs here. Like, what the fuck you talking about? He said, look, man, you're not hearing me. Next time I come to your house, you're going to jail because I'm finding drugs. And I'm like, well, shit, then I'm going to jail. If you're going to put that shit here, then I'm going to jail. Like, what can I do? You know? And he was like, look, man, move. I go, what do you mean move? Like leave right here? He's like, get the fuck out of here. If you get the fuck out of here, I'll leave you alone. I'm like, leave right here? He's like, yeah. I said, shit, I'll move tomorrow. Shit, that's all you had to say. You didn't have to be on no bullshit, you know? So I bought a pad in Covina after that shit. So I was still good for like another 2 years. But since these bitch ass fools never caught me with nothing, they send the feds on me, dog. So it was just tough.
When did you know the feds were on you?
I didn't until they knocked on my door and said, hey, you're going to jail. The SWAT team's outside. You're going to jail. Like, I didn't know nothing, dog. Like, it wasn't like that.
You never had, honestly, be honest, bro. You never had in the back of your mind the feds are on me.
Nah, we wouldn't. Look, nowadays, everybody knows about the feds. Back then, nobody knew about the feds. Like
in the hood, because it wasn't a common thing that was happening all the time.
The only people that got busted before us with the feds were the dudes from Violent Boys. You know, before that, nobody got busted by the feds. We didn't know about that shit. Like, we were the second gang to pull up in MDC, like street gang, no extras, like nobody like, hey, this guy is you know, the commander or whatever the fuck. But you know, it was just us, fool. Like
the day they come to your door,
they called me.
They called you. Yeah, talk about that. What do you mean they called you?
Look, me and my baby's mom were fighting already. So, like, you know, we've been separated, all this shit. So we're fighting. It is what it is, you know? And it's this is like from February to, I got busted in April 19th of 06. So now, like, the first, like, holiday for kids is Easter coming, you know? I'm in Culiacan, fool, at this time. Like, I'm with the homie. We're over there. Like, we're over there with the dudes, like, doing it big, dog. We got, like, I'm watching motherfuckers make shit, you know? So, like, I'm telling them, I gotta go back, bro. Like, it's Easter. I gotta go, like, do Easter with my kids and shit. You know, I haven't been home. Like, I gotta go see what's up, you know? So I came home only for fucking Easter, dog, and I went over there, did Easter with my kids in Pasadena, dog. Start talking to my baby's mom. My daughter's like, she's telling me like, Dad, I want to go home. Like, I miss my house. Like, I want to go home, you know? And the whole time I'm just thinking like me and my baby's mom are fighting. I'm not thinking like my kids are feeling this shit, you know? But, like, the kids feel that shit, dog, when motherfucking family ain't getting along, dog.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah.
Real shit. So, my daughter's telling me this, so I'm like, shit. So, me and my baby's mom, it was around the time of her birthday, dog, so I miss her birthday. So, I'm like, hey, you know what, fuck it, you want to go to Vegas? So, we just, from at the park in Pasadena, drive straight to Vegas, dog. We went and chilled over there for a few days. Came back. Because I was waiting for them to come and bring me 100 pounds. So I'm like, hey, I got to go back. Like, it's time to go back. You know what I mean?
100 pounds.
Yeah, they were going to bring me 100 pounds that day.
How does 100 pounds come? In a pickup truck? A U-Haul truck?
Nah, I didn't even, like, people think, like, shit, that shit pull up in a Toyota Camry, dog. In a Toyota, like, you know what I'm saying?
Car.
Yeah.
This is just my ignorance.
Yeah, no, but that, I mean, people just, you know, it comes in the least way you expect it, dog. You'll never expect, like, that they're going to fit in that fucking car. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know? Yeah. Like, you'll never think that this person's going to bring it. Like, you know, you'll be like, what? They'll be like, hey, fool, go outside. They're waiting for you. Like, where, dick? I don't see nobody. Like, you know?
That in your fridge.
Yeah, for real. But, you know, that's what it was, dog. So I come back 1 a.m, dog. My kids are at my pad and shit, at my mom's pad. So I tell the homie Boogie to go swoop up my kids, bring them over and shit. So I'm at the pad with my baby's mom. 1 a.m, we get there. 5 a.m, fool, fucking get a phone call and they're asking my real name, dog. Is this Richard Gastelum? Like, what? Who the fuck calls your house like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, what's up? They're like, oh, this is the SWAT team. We have a federal indictment for your arrest. You want to come out or you want us to come in? I'm like, like, it's all bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Before you finish that story, I want to say this. Legend has it that when you were living in Covina, you would buy pizzas for the whole block.
the whole block.
Is that true or not?
The fuck am I buy pizzas for the whole block?
I don't know where that came from, but that came down the pipeline of the hood pipeline. I mean, but anyways, go ahead.
I buy pizzas for everybody at the pad, like
Yeah,
everybody
okay.
chilling with me. But look, maybe they're saying
Use one of those
because,
right now.
like,
So
I had a pool and shit at my pad, so like all the kids right there, like, I'm always cool. Like, I'm good with my neighbors. I'm good with everybody.
Why is it
around.
good to be good with the neighbors?
That's the last person you want to be fucked up to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Those are the last people you want to have problems with. You want to be
Neighbors.
good with everybody around you, bro.
Yeah,
Shout out
know?
to Dark.
Yeah.
yeah.
But nah, on the real, you just want to be cool with everybody around you, man. Why you want to have problems with anybody where you got to go lay your head down at?
You know, bro, I want to just say this quick little story. When I was on Nolden and York, the neighbors, I was creating a lot of stuff going on in that area.
I remember when you were there.
Yeah, and so what I used to do is I would take all the neighbors' trash cans out during trash day.
You got to be cool to the neighbors, dog. You don't want them to be the
I
ones
swear to
calling the
God, on
cops
me,
on
bro.
you or
You would
none
go
of
to their
that.
backyard?
Nah,
It's apartments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was apartments, and it was just like some of them were houses, bro. But I would take their trash cans out, bro. You know.
But like all the little area right there.
Yeah, I would take the trash can in the alley right there, that four corner right
Yeah,
there, bro.
yeah.
I take the trash cans out, bro. And some of the homies would be like, "What the fuck you taking the
You
trash
gotta
cans
be
out?"
cool.
I said, "'Cause
Like
these
you
are
don't
the
want
neighbors
nobody
right now."
riding on the neighbor's shit. You don't want
Yeah.
nobody breaking into the neighbor's cars. You don't want none of that shit.
And so they give you that phone call,
Yeah.
and I mean, how far does your heart drop?
Well, I looked out the window. I see the news camera out there. I see the
they had it like that,
helicopter.
huh?
Yeah. It was the news, the helicopter, the tank outside in the front.
A tank?
That little fucking ram
Armed
your house.
car?
SWAT.
Yeah,
The
that
SWAT.
SWAT ram your shit. And I was like, nah, man, I got kids in the house. I'm coming outside. And I'm thinking like, shit, I ain't got nothing in here. Like, what the fuck you guys want? Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I only had like 20,000 in my pocket. Like, what is that? Like,
So
what?
you're still feeling cocky about it,
Not cocky, but I'm like, I ain't got
confident?
shit.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I ain't got shit.
yeah,
Like, okay, you're gonna come in. I don't have shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was waiting for 100 pounds. I ain't got no dope. Like, where you gonna find it at? I don't have shit. Like, what are you gonna do? I don't have nothing.
Let me take you back real quick. So I was busted during this time, bro. But homies, can I say this, bro? Are you okay with I say what?
I don't know what you're gonna say.
Well, it's because well, I'll say this, bro. It's just stories about before you got busted, or how you do it when sometimes you get stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead. I ain't
You
tripping.
good with it?
I mean, that's
So-
what it was.
so
I
the-
already went to jail for it.
Exactly. But I want to
Yeah,
ask your
yeah.
permission.
I already went
out
to
of
jail for
respect. The little homies would tell me when I got out, and you were already on the federal case, and all the other homies were on the federal case. They would say that you would get shit, bro, and you put it on it would go on the pool table.
Yeah, on the pool table in the back house.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
It would go on the pool table, bro.
Yeah.
And it would be a massive.
Because you had to open them, dog. All that shit comes wrapped up like in oil and all this shit. So you gotta open them. You gotta weigh them. You gotta You
And
can't just give them out like that.
and they
Like, you
said it would be like Christmas sometimes, bro.
I mean, because it was love. Like, I'd have everybody doing something. Like, hey, you fucking put the bags. You put this. You hurry up. You count the money over there. You do. Like, everybody is doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm always looking out for everybody, dog. There was not nobody there at that time that can say, oh, but that fool never did this for me. Or that fool never sent me no money. That fool didn't send me no pictures. That fool didn't this. You know what I'm saying? So
you surrender yourself. You walk out.
I come out with my daughter.
You went out with your daughter. Why
Yeah.
did you go out with your daughter?
Because she was asleep. Like, so like they want to come in. So like they said everybody to come out. So my daughter's asleep. So I went and picked her up.
Is it just federal agents that are out there, or is it just like Covina?
It's Covina, the SWAT, the feds. It's everybody, dog.
A
This
bunch
shit
of
is-
agencies.
It's deep as fuck, fool. They already fucking shut down the whole block. Like everything is like
And what time is it again?
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
They did us and they did all the homies from the harbor area the same day. So all the hood and all the homies from the harbor area, from East Side Wilmas, West Side Longo, from Gardena, from East Side Longo, everybody.
And
it
was it all connected together?
It was all together.
Okay. And
My shit was Operation Daddy Daycare.
Why?
I don't know. That's the name they picked.
Why Operation Daddy Daycare?
I don't know.
That was the name of your federal case, and you were the head.
Yeah, I was
of
the
that.
head. Like in all the homies' phones, like I used to tell them, like, hey, fool, don't fucking put Drewps on my name, because before the cops used to pull them over and be like, hey, let me see your phone, and like look for the names. So like they're like, well, what do you want me to put? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, put daddy, put whatever the fuck you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't fucking put Drewps. You know what I'm saying? Put whatever the fuck you want, but don't put fucking Drewps on there. You know?
Yeah.
So ours was Daddy Daycare. The homies from Wilmas, from Eastside Wilmas, was Operation Snow Globe. And then together, it made Operation Wasteland.
Wow.
So, and like even when they got the dudes from Avenues next, their operation is Wasteland too, because it continued off our indictment.
Yeah, it overlapped. With
Yeah.
It was a continuous.
Well, because they had all the, like, we were gangbanging with each other at the time. So there was a bunch of shootings. So, like, you know, we'd go, they'd come, they'd go, we'd come, they go, we come, like back and forth, you know? So they had all that shit going on at the time.
During that time of the height of your criminal enterprise, bro, the top of the top, the cream of the top, bro, how did that feel, bro? How did that feel to be the big dog on Mount Rushmore, so to speak, of fucking hood shit, bro? How did that feel? That power, bro.
That capital.
That capital. How did that feel, dog?
I mean, it felt regular, fool. Like, it never, like, to be honest, it never felt like different. I mean, I know I had money. I knew I was doing good. I know I was able to help more, but it never felt different than it was, because, like, until the day I went to jail, like, I was still writing on the wall. I was still the guy out there, like still doing everything. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I got money now, so, like, nah, you guys gotta go. I'm not gonna go. Like, I would still go. Like, you know, if we're gonna go over here and do this, like, I would go still. You know what I'm saying? And it's in the paperwork. It ain't like when the cops got me, they were like, how are you, like, one of the main guys doing the shooting, selling the drugs, doing the, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? They go, you got to pick one or the other.
Keeping that overhead low, huh?
Let's take a quick break, and we're going to be back to continue this.
I've been a bad man, yeah, the devil's prayed to me, and I help him go and get his way. You kept your word, boy, yeah, the devil said to me, and I can't wait to meet you one day. Yeah, I can't wait to meet you one day. Hey, 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 hey.
Hit the streets like a high-speed pursuit. I'm wild when I move. Burn it to your head, about to tighten up the noose. Bunch of clown faces blowing clouds of the booth. Woof, woof. Hooters at the door, now they trying to run up in. I am not a guppy shark, stash everything. Dope in the pussy like a B of A deposit. Baby girl robotic, she gang bang ebonics. Hang with the rules or you gotta pull your weight. Told the biggest tool, keep one in the chain. This is not a date. Dance with the Mex, get your face in the cake.
Yeah, the devil's praying to me, and I help him go and get his way. You kept your word, boy. Yeah, the devil said to me, and I can't wait to meet you one day. Yeah, I can't wait to meet you one day.
Hey, 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 hey. Pennies for my thoughts, I still can't make a dollar. Anybody home, Mr. 38 revolver. Holla, Lord, I need change. Heard you heal the hurt, I heard you kill the pain. Homie down the street, you left them dead in the dirt. Now his mama growing grays. Clouds in the skies leave tears on the grave. No smile on the face, just another t-shirt. Small funeral, see his girl when they flirt. Shit still fresh, still smell death. Bunch of drug addicts, can't wait to fuck next. Let the pussy rest, waiting on the prey like a goon in your home. It's 2 in the morning.
Yeah, the devil's praying to me, and I help him go and get his way. You kept your word, boy. Yeah, the devil said to me, and I can't wait to meet you one day. Yeah, I can't wait to meet you one day.
Hey, 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 hey. Kodak pictures catch the redness in my eyes. The pookie virtualized got the devil in my mind. The highs, the lows, a suicide note. The drip of the nasal, feel the tip of the razor. I'm tired of the living, I'm tired of the sinning. I wanna be dead dog, better than these meds. Got my girl gagged, keep back this stupid gonna throw you through the glass. Broken windows, limo tinted nipple. She crazy, we crazy, another meth baby. I need to sober up, I'm tripping, she waking. I think I need some sleep, I'm losing my mind. Catch me while I leap.
I've been a bad man, yeah, the devil's
Yeah, baby. Hood stocks, baby. Like, subscribe, all that shit. Shit, everything happens for a reason. Jules couldn't make it through, and you know what? Hey, we turned this shit into a fucking banger, baby. Banger. Shit, dog. Hey, Nick, can I get a beer, sir? Please, sir?
Happy dad, dude.
Happy dad. Bop hop. Love you guys, man. I told you guys, man. Man, this shit happened for a reason right here, dog. Thank you, Nick. Roulette printing. You guys need your fucking chonies printed, dog. Your tatarans. I mean, he got you, baby. I love you guys, man. Man, this is my shit right here, baby. This is
Fucking Lex.
This is my shit right here. Rick.
What up?
When do you know the what you're really looking at, bro?
In jail?
Yeah, and when the feds come in,
dog. First day.
no, check it out. You walked out with your daughter, bro. What do they do, bro?
They had all the fucking the beams and shit on the motherfucker.
They had the beams on you?
Yeah, hell
with your
yeah.
daughter?
With my daughter, dog. They ain't playing.
What daughter did you have with you?
I had my daughter Sabrina with me. Yeah. She wasn't a game, dude.
Dog. No, bro.
Yeah. She was like 4 years old at the time. So she ain't understand. And we just brought her home, dog. Like, she would have still been at my mom's. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, we didn't, like, fuck. We ain't ready for none of that shit, dog. For real, we weren't ready for that shit. You know?
And so they take you to the federal downtown LA?
Nah, from right there, like, they put us all down. Boom. They tell me, hey, put your daughter on the floor. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to put her on the floor. Like, come get her and shit. Like, I came out. I gave up. Like I'm not trying to fight with you guys. Like, I ain't got shit in the pad. Like, here, come get my daughter. You know? So they come get her. They, like, get me. They don't even put me on the floor. They cuff me in the front. They're like, boom. They cuff me up. They're like, come here. And I came out wearing my jewelry because I'm thinking, like, all right, if I go to jail, Like, I can have somebody come and pick up my property. Like, I'm going to be good. You know what I mean? I'm still thinking it's going to be good, you know?
With all the jewelry.
Yeah, so I put my shit on, you know what I mean? I had a Jeezy the Snowman shirt, so I'm like, let me change that shit. Like, let me get something else.
Sick.
I don't want to look back.
Yeah, I don't want to come out looking like I'm like on some drug shit. So I'll like get me like a little Echo shirt or some shit. Like, come here, let me get this. But now we came out and I was still not knowing what the fuck was up yet. You know, I knew it was bad just by what it was, but I'm like, fuck it, like. You know, I still had a gang of money. So I'm like, I'm good. Maybe I can bail out. Maybe I can still got some action. But fuck nah. As soon as I went over there, they're like, hey, look, man, we know you never have drugs in your house. So who do you want to pick up your kids? And I'm like, fuck, maybe they're trying to trick us. They want more houses to go raid, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what do you want? What are you talking about? Like, what's up? And they're like, look, man, these are all the people we're raiding right now. And they give me the indictment, fool. And I look at all the names and I'm like, oh, shit.
Can't have
like,
nobody pick
you know, there's fucking 42 people on there. Like, you know, they're showing all the houses they're raiding. You know, they're raiding my mom's house. They're raiding my stepdad's house. They're raiding everybody's house. Like, at 5 right now in the morning, you know?
Oh, shit.
So it was fucked up, fool. Like, you know, we call my baby's mom's grandma, like, hey, like, can you come pick up the kids? And she's like, nah, I don't want no problems, you know? And like, fuck. You know, we called her little sister and her stepmom, like, hey, can you come pick up the kids? And they're like, yeah, we'll go and get them right now. So, like, my neighbors came out. Like I said, I'm always good with my neighbors, dog. They're like, hey, if you need us to get your kids, like, we got them. I'm like, nah, hey, thank you guys, you know? Like, I'm in the van, dog, with the door open. Like, all the neighbors are standing right there, like, what's up? I'm like, shit, my past caught up to me. It's all bad.
So they got the wrong guy.
Nah. I told him, hey, it's all bad, you know? Like, past caught up to me, you know what I mean? Like it's bad, you know? But, yeah, from there, we were flying, fool, going to fucking Ontario PD. I'm like, what the fuck are we going to Ontario for? Like, what the fuck's going on, you know? They took us to a big-ass room over there in like a warehouse in the back of Ontario Police Station. And they had, like, pictures of everybody's pad and shit, like, from the front and from the sky. Like, and they had the little pyramid, like, with everybody's faces and shit. Like, when I came in, all the cops were clapping. They're like, hey, Droopy, what's up? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they're like, yeah, finally we meet you and type shit, you know? And I'm like, what the fuck?
How long were they on you?
They were on us for like a year, but it was really like 9 months they were monitoring my phone calls. So in that time, I had like 26 phones or some shit. So in that time, I had 26 different phones. So people think like, oh yeah, I changed my phone, I'm going to be good. Or talk like this and I'm going to be great. Like, fuck, no. If they're on you, they're on you. Like, for me, they had me on some shit called roving taps. So a roving tap is when they tap your voice, not your phone. So they tapped 5 people close to me. My mom, my baby's mom, and like 3 more homies that I called the most. So whenever I called them and said, hey, this is my new number, that phone was automatically tapped. So they didn't need it, because at first, for 4 months, they were going to the judge and trying to tap my phone, but I was already changing it by the time. Because I would go to the store, buy like 12 phones, like right off the rip. Like, hey, let me get 12 phones. And they're like, 12 phones? I'm like, yeah, 12 phones, 1,000 minutes on each phone. And they'll be like, I'm like, what? Like, you know, I'm going to a little T-Mobile stores. Like, yeah, let me get 12 phones. They're like, 12 phones? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what name? I'm like, shit, Mike Jones and shit. Like, you know?
Who?
For real. They had Mike Jones shit fucked up for a minute. They were trying.
What's his number? 818-834-8004. Hit Mike
for
Jones
real,
below.
they had his shit, dog. They had him. I was like, they're like, what? Who else? Like different names, fool. They had like Pancho Villa. Like they had all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they had all that shit on their dog, so they were on it. Like, so I would just get 1,000 minutes on a phone, and like if any of my homies told me like, hey, the cops pulled me over, I would throw the phone away, dog. Like, you know, at first I started giving all my homies phones like, hey, look, when I call you here, but my homies were like, you know, I'll go to the hood and they'll be like, oh, nobody's supposed to know he has this phone. I'm like, why would he tell you he got that phone? Like, man, oh, fuck him then. Like, it's on him if he wants to fuck his phone off, you know? Because I'm thinking as long as I stay good, I'm good. But fuck no, they're on that shit. Like, it's a whole different game, for real. The federal system is way different than people think.
They have access to everything.
Everything. They're on that shit. They got people that gonna work all day, all night, only fucking concentrating on your ass. You know? Only.
That's insane.
Like they think like, nah, I was in Hawaii for them 2 months that I told you the last time. when I went to Ontario, I walked in and I looked at this dude, a white dude, I'm like, I know you from somewhere. He's like, good looking out, bro. I was with you in Hawaii for 2 months.
What?
No bullshit. He was like, good looking out, bro. I was chilling in Hawaii for 2 months with you. And like, I remember seeing him at Benihana's. I went into Benihana's, but like, how is he going to look different? Like, how's he going to look weird?
What was he doing?
He was sitting at the table eating with us.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's a tourist town.
Yeah.
So like, why isn't he supposed to be here?
Holy
like, we were in the
shit.
beach playing basketball and shit, you know? And motherfuckers were passing by. I'm like, hey, that motherfucker just took a picture of us. I'm like, oh, well, maybe. Because in Hawaii, motherfuckers are like, oh, you're Mexican. They were all tripping out because we're all tatted up, you know? But hell nah, there was the feds over there taking pictures of us. We're like, fuck. Like, it was crazy, you know? I took the little homie with me to be the babysitter, you know what I mean? It was different, dog.
Wow.
But that's how you know it was real.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
But that first day I knew it was real because like I went into they took you to the little interrogation room. They were like, hey, look, man, what's up, man? They're like, we know that you love your homies. We already know. We can tell by your calls and shit. But we need your connect. And I'm like, what? The fuck you talking about? Like, oh, you don't know what we're talking about?
I am the connect.
No, they pushed the first fucking phone call, and it was like, hey, what's up, boo? I'm talking to somebody, and I was like, oh shit, like how the fuck they get that phone, you know? So I'm listening, and you know I'm talking to the connect, and I'm like, hey, what's up, fool? I need to pull up, and he's like, what's up? I'm like, he's like, yeah, I got 50 of them for you right here, you know? And I'm like, nah, dick, I need 100. And he's like, what? I got 50, dick. I'm like, dick, I'm leaving my pad right now. I'm going to pull up, like, you know, about an hour because he was, like, out in the valley and shit. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pull up in an hour, dick. Like, have 100 ready for me, dick. Like, shut the fuck up with that 50 shit. Like, I'm not trying to come back tonight. You know, I need 100. Like, I'm not trying to pull up all day, you know? So they're like, we want that guy. I'm like, well, shit, if you ain't got that guy, you're not going to get him from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they seen me, they felt like I was sitting there smug, like I didn't give a fuck. So they're like, oh, you don't think we have nothing? And I'm like, and then boom, next call. And they were all gang calls, you know, talking to the homies like, hey, give him that gun, give him this gun. This fool's been shooting, so give him your gun. Like, it was bad, fool. It was real bad. So I knew, like, fuck. So I'm like, fuck, I'm 28 right now. Like, fuck. All right. I can do 20 years right now. Fuck it. You know? Like, this is going to be bad. So I'm thinking, like, fuck it. I'll tell them motherfuckers to give me 20 years. Like, I'm good, you know? And keep in mind, I've been fighting with my baby's mom. They got me sitting right next to my baby's mom. They already took her in the room. They fucking showed her, like, the whole 2 months we've been fucking arguing. All the bitches I've been fucking and shit. So
What?
yeah, they
Like
all
that?
all of that. They want her to tell, dog. They're trying to break her down. You know, they're like, hey, you think he loves you? Like, he don't love you. Look, boom. They start showing her all kind of shit.
What's
know?
up, mija?
For real. They're like, you know, they start showing all that shit, dog. Like, for real. Like, real shit, you know? So we're walking out the room, and she's like, fuck you, motherfucker. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? She's like, oh, they showed me this. And I'm like, shit. Like, well, we went together. Like, what you want? What you think? You think I'm out here jacking off? Like, shit, you know what it is. You know what I mean? Shit, I got money. Like, what the fuck? You know? Like, shit. I ain't going to a strip club getting a lap dance. You know what I mean? This shit's going down. You know? So this shit was bad. So, like, when we finally get to, like, MDC, like, we finally get to MDC, and I'm, like, they're speeding. They're driving reckless. I'm like, hey, what the fuck you guys doing? Slow down. I'm thinking it's the state. Like, you got 3 days to go to court. Fuck no, you're going to court that day. You're going to court same day. So, like, boom, we get over there. I see all the homies. I see everybody in there.
That all got jacked up that same time.
Everybody got jacked up same day. And I'm seeing people and I see Create right there. Create, I walk in and we just got him in the hood, you know? And I see him and he's like, hey, I took the wrap from my brother's weed. I'm like, they ain't tripping on no weed. Like, they don't give a fuck about no weed, fool. He's like, how long you think we're gonna be here, fool? Like 3 weeks or something?
He said, I'm hungry.
I said, fool, we're probably gonna be here like 3 years just fighting the case, and then he's like, what? He was 18 years old, just turned 18. I was like, fuck, nah, fool, it's all bad, dick. You know, and he's like, and we just jumped him in the hood like, 5 months before and shit. So that shit was bad. So, you know, I walked into court first day and my lawyer came like, hey, look, man. I said, hey, look, man, how long have they been following me? She's like, they've been following you for like a year. So I'm like, fuck. I think back what I've been doing for a year. And I'm like, oh, shit, this shit is bad. So I'm like, in my head, I'm weighing out like, all right, a year. I'm thinking all the shit I've been doing. So I'm like, I told her, you know what? Go fucking tell the prosecutor right now that I'll take 20 years. And she's like, what? We don't even have no paper. We don't have nothing. I go, nah, look, I know what they got. You know, like, go tell them I'll take 20 years right now and fuck it. You know, because I'm thinking I'm 28, get out 48, because I'm thinking already I did my 5 years. I did the whole time, so I'm going to have to do the whole time. I'm like, fuck it. I'll still have some good years left in there. You know, like, fuck it. I'll just get this shit over with right now. Like, fuck all this. I'm still in street clothes. I'm in my Jordans. I'm still wearing, you know.
All your chains.
No, no. They take that shit off right off the rip. They don't give a fuck. That shit is gone. But I'm still in my Jordans. I'm still in my shit, you know. And I'm telling the homies, like, hey, look, like, shh. Like, hey, if you guys can get some time without telling, go ahead and grab that shit. Like, I'm going to try to get 20 right now. Everybody's looking at me, and, like, I'm looking at all the fucking crowd, like, everybody's family. Like, I'm looking at people like damn, like, you know, I've seen these people around the hood, but I didn't know they're related to us. You know what I mean? Like, there's the whole fucking shit is full, dog. And I'm looking like, what the fuck? You know, everybody's looking at me like, stay strong, fool, you got this. And I'm like, shit, this shit is bad, you know? And, you know, my baby's mom's next to me, like, everybody's shit is fucked up, you know? And my lawyer went over there. She was like, you sure you want me to ask him for 20 years? I'm like, go ask him for 20. Tell him I'll take 20 right now. And she went and she came back. She's like, oh, they said they might give you the death penalty. I said, death penalty for selling drugs? Like, hold up. Because like when they first brought me, they just brought us in because we were doing a lot of shooting. So they brought us in for like I had 13 charges when they brought us in. A year later, they re-indicted me with 24 more charges. So they give you more charges as you go. It's, you know, superseding indictment, it's called. So they superseded the indictment later. But they brought 42 of us, and they brought another 39 of the homies from the harbor area.
Fuck.
So we came in deep, you know?
Like 100 people almost deep.
Yeah, we came in deep, like, you know, fools, chicks, like everybody's family, you know what I mean?
Spider webbed.
Yeah, they don't fuck around. Like, and they didn't show that on my indictment. They just showed the homie Silent from Eastside Weedmoss on my indictment. But then I started seeing more people come in, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe they're at his pad or something, you know? But fuck no, he had his own indictment. He was number 4 in mine and number 1 in his own indictment. He just got out right now, barely got out. Yeah, he barely got out. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, the feds is a whole nother thing, man. That's why motherfucker got out this time. Ain't no more fucking selling dope, none of that shit. Motherfucker working, you know, working union, motherfucking getting my hands dirty, like waking up 4:30 in the morning, go to work, you know.
Rick, we ain't done with it yet, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, but that's what it is, dog.
He's in space now, though.
Nah,
Yeah.
nobody in space, bro.
We'll hit the whole bag of mushrooms like they don't hit in 40 minutes.
Nah, bro. Check it. Mushrooms don't hit me for nothing, baby. I hit the mushrooms, baby.
Whoop. Big lugs.
I hit the mushrooms.
1 hour later.
Once upon a time ago, the mushrooms.
Come pick me up.
Nah, you know, dog, check it out, dog. You know what I mean? I'm a motherfucking gangster in this shit, dog. But I'm a daddy gangster, right? I mean, it's a different gangster. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm talking about.
Daddy gangsters are different. You know what I mean? But let me say this though. I want to say this. We ain't even done with this, bro. Rick, so while you're in the federal, what do they call it?
MDCLA.
Okay.
It's out in Alameda, downtown LA.
I know where it's at, and I hate when I see females out there with their kids, bro, waving
That
balloons
shit's
and shit.
bad. Look, we started that shit, fool. Motherfuckers weren't doing that shit before. We were out there, balloons, riding with chalk on the floor, bringing fucking Easter baskets, presents. We started
How
that
was
shit.
it in their comparison? What's the difference between being in the state and now you're in the federal? What is the difference? Tell me about the federal landscape. I want to know that, bro.
Well, MDC was like a whole different shit, dog. Like,
I mean, what is the program right in there? What does the cells look like? Help me out with
the cells are different as far as like you don't have TVs and shit in your cell. Like they only have the TVs in the day room, so it's not that kind of living.
But it's a county jail for the federals, for the federal,
yeah,
for,
that's
for
what
federal
MDC
inmates.
is like yeah, it's like the county for the feds.
Yeah. So what does that look like, and what is the program on that?
Well, it's basically
And what
like,
does the store look like that? Go ahead.
I mean the store's kind of regular, dog. Like the store's not like at the time the store was way better. Like we used to be able to make wine and shit like right off the buying everything from the store. Like they used to sell ketchup, they used to sell sugar, they used to like the shit. It was just a way different look than the state, dog. Like we came in, there was microwaves. They had it was just different, dog. It was a lot different looks. There was a whole different look than the state.
Better or worse?
Nah, way better.
Way better.
Like, yeah, when we first got there, like the food was good. Like from being in LA County jail to being in the federal jail, like into the federal like receiving, like and then like they'll send you though to like what is that fucking San Bernardino County jail though, was still like another branch of that shit. Or they'll send you to Orange County to Santana jail. So you'll get back right into like the county jail aspect of the shit. So you're able to go to there. You're able to go to Kern County. You're able to still go to places that are.
How long did you fight your case for?
I fought my case for 4.5 years.
4.5 years,
Yeah.
bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
4.5 years?
Yeah.
So 4.5 years you were in that federal building.
I was in that federal building back and forth for 4.5
What's
years.
back and forth?
Well, I was going from there to San Bernardino County Jail till back to kicked out again from San Bernardino Jail. Like, you know, like I was getting back and forth kicked out, dog. Like, so I was in, I started off in MDC, which was like lovely compared to fucking San Bernardino County Jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started off there though. That's where I started my time. I got there and like they locked us straight down, dog. Like as soon as I got there, I went on the floor for like one night, and in the morning they came and they were like, "Hey, come on, your case is too high profile. Like you're going to the SHU." They took me to the SHU.
The SHU of the federal.
The
building.
SHU of the federal.
And what is that like?
It for me at the time it was still kind of decent because at the time they still gave us the same stuff that everybody had in the like the same store list, you know. So it was kind of cool. It was bad because you weren't like able to watch TV. You weren't able, but other than that, like you still had a radio, you had a Walkman and shit. Like you still had the same store list, except like the razors and the what is it? Razors and something. It was like something minor, like you know what I mean? Like other than that, they gave you the same shit. Now it's different. Now they take a lot of that shit away. But like we used to make wine every week. Like we were chilling. Like it was kind of cool. Like the chicks were on top of us, so you're able to talk to the girls all day and shit. Yeah, it was all right.
How was it fighting that case? How long, you know what I mean? Besides being for there 4 years, bro. Like, what, you know what I mean? When you finally, we're not going to drag it out, bro. Let's do it like this. When you finally got sentenced, matter of fact, talk to him real quick, dog. I got to pee real quick.
He's gonna take a leak, dude. He's gonna take
It's
a
all
leak.
good. It's all good. Look, like with fighting the case, like it was different. Like I said, I asked them right out from the beginning. I asked them for 20 years. So when I asked them for 20 years, they said no. So for me, I was like fuck, like these motherfuckers don't even want to give me 20 years. Like fuck, how much time are you trying to give me? Because all they had me for was selling drugs. So I'm thinking like, well, how much time are you gonna give me for selling drugs? You know. So a year later, they supersede the indictment. They add on a continuing criminal enterprise, and that's a mandatory minimum of 30 years. That's what they got the BMF dudes with.
Yeah.
That's the time they took. They took the 30 years, which is their mandatory minimum. Like they couldn't get nothing less than that, you know. So they had me with RICO, they had me with CCE, and then they had me with conspiracy, and then entangled in all of that, they have like in the RICO they have like different shootings. In the conspiracy they have different drug sales. So at the end of the day, you're trying to plead out to the least of whatever they got, you know? Because if you take a plea deal, they're going to give you two different deals. Like, you got to plead out to do two different things. So, like, in the end, I ended up pleading out to conspiracy to distribute, like, drugs and RICO, you know what I mean? So they gave me the 210 months on each one, but then they ran them together. So that's what helps. Because if they run them bow-legged, then you get 420, and that's like.
So what was the sentence they gave you?
They gave me 210 months.
which is equal to how many years?
17 and a half years.
17 and a half years. How much time did you serve?
I served a little under 16. I served 15 years, 8 months.
15 years, 8 months.
Yeah.
When you got sentenced for that time, and before you got sentenced for that time, were there cats that were under that RICO indictment?
I got the most time in our case.
Were there cats that turned over?
In our case, there was only one dude that like told, but like he told on somebody else. Like he brought somebody else into jail. Like he brought in another case or some shit. So like he brought somebody else in, but like from the hood, like most of the time they have in the feds is fucked up, dog. They bring a lot of people in.
If I was mowing your lawn at the time, would I have been brought in?
You could have came in and
real shit?
Real shit. Like you could have came in for mowing my lawn. Like they were trying to my gardener brought me roses one time, like doing the front of my pad. And they said on that day I was bringing in so much dope that I needed to clear the whole fucking backyard out so my gardener can bring in all the dope. And I'm like, if you thought he was bringing in dope, like, why didn't you come and raid the house? You know what I mean? Yeah. But my gardener was bringing in, he went to Home Depot. He's like, hey, I'm here at Home Depot. I'm buying all the fucking roses and shit for your pad. I'm going to drop them off there so I can come and fucking start in the morning, you know? But they used it for the cops. They said, oh, he's using coded language with this. But I'm like, well, why didn't you bring the guy in? Like, the guy is our fucking gardener that gardens the whole fucking block. You know what I mean?
That was a good question I asked him.
So that's the kind of shit. Like, so...
Did he go in with you guys?
Nah, he didn't come in with us. But that's what they use, like, to the judge to get the next phone tap. Because every month they go in, they need to show why they need to continue the phone tap. So they need to show the judge, like, hey, look, he's still selling drugs. So, like, if they don't feel like you have a good reason, then they'll stop fucking tapping your phone. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're not saying enough drug talk from month to month, they're not going to continue tapping your phone.
Let me ask you a question, Rick.
Yeah.
And this is a question that's gonna and I'm not trying to put you, bro. Pay attention to this question, please. Mm-hmm. And you haven't been drinking too much, and I really thank you for that, brother.
Nah, I'm chilling, dog.
I really thank you for that, because Rick knew the importance of sharing his story, and he did not. I've been watching that Smirnoff smash tall can for a minute. and
we've been here like fucking
3.5 hours.
Nah, bro.
Already,
check it out, bro. And I appreciate you for that, bro. But if you can give a message out to cats that have been where you have been, bro, what would you tell them, bro? And it's a tricky question.
Nah,
so be careful.
Nah, I mean, look. Like, real shit, dog. Like, we always think we're slicker than everybody else and all that shit. You just gotta be cool, man. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what kind of talk you're using, they change all your conversation into drug talk. You can be talking to your mom and like, Mom, I love you. Oh, well, on that day, he said, Mom, I love you because he wanted 100 kilos of, you know? And when he told her that I'm going to come, he means he's going to come and pick up the money for the 100 kilos. So, like, for real, like, this shit is real, man. Like, these people ain't playing with us, man. Like, some of my innocent calls were used against me the worst. And some of my worst calls weren't used against me at all. So, like, they really go in on you, man. And like, there's no real way to, you know, think you're outsmarting them and think you're smarter than them on that shit. And I'm not trying to be no hater or none of that shit. I'm just being real with you, man. Like, these motherfuckers will twist your words up and get you caught up, dog, just to use like whatever they can to keep you fucked over. You know what I mean?
I mean, they use it against for their case.
For their case, yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's for their case, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they came to our shit, they took a lot of the homies' kids and shit, dog. Like, these people weren't playing with us. Like, they took a lot of their kids and they try to use the kids as leverage. They do all that shit. Like, on my pad, they told me that, like I told you guys, they said on this day when you drop these roses off, like it was so much drugs, we knew. But when they came to my house, they said, look, who do you want to pick up your kids? We know you never had drugs here. So, like, if you're telling me that and you're letting my kids get picked up and you're taking other people's kids away because you know that's where they held the drugs at, you know, how the fuck did you tell the judge on this day that I fucking had 100 fucking kilos here? You know what I'm saying? But they just do whatever they can to further their case. Like, some of these dudes want to win at all expense, you know? Just like we're out on the streets, we're trying to do whatever we can to further whatever the fuck we're doing. They're on the same shit, dog. Like, they got love for their people the same as we got love for ours. And they're trying to further their shit. And if there's a lot of people that feel morally like, hey, this is a drug dealer. Like, look at this, like, different shit with the fentanyl, man. Like, that shit's killing a lot of motherfuckers.
How do you feel about that?
Nah, that shit ain't cool, dog. That shit ain't cool at all.
Absolutely not.
Nah, it's not cool, man. Like, there's a lot of people dying on that shit. Like, you want to get high and you're going to die. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can't even do no pricks.
But I'm just saying, like, okay, look at that. Like I said, most of the time you're trying to give people as much drugs as you can so they can come back. So what about the drug that you're selling that motherfucker ain't ever coming back? Like, what the fuck good is that? That ain't no good drug. That ain't something that you can sell. That not something I can sell. That ain't something I'm looking to sell. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to sell it to you and you're going to die tomorrow, then what the fuck use is that?
Yeah.
That's like a robbery. Like, you can go rob somebody and get paid one time, or you can go and do some scheme and get paid every day. Like, I'm trying to get paid every day. You know what I mean? I need you to keep coming back.
I don't need you to die.
Who needs you to die? That's not good. But like
15 years, 8 months.
15 years, long time, bro.
How did you digest that, and how did you do that time?
Shit, standing tall, big dog. Gotta do my shit, dog. You know, like I just looked at it like I was already 4.5 years in, like I said, you know. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I can do this. Like, you know, I can do 10 more years. Like, I already got a quarter of it done. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't seem like too far of a reach, even though at the time, before that, the longest I did 4 months, 5 years, did a year violation, and then boom, I knocked out these 15 years, 8 months, you know? But I knew that this is the way I looked at it. Like, the cops were like, oh, you can get this time off if you this, if you that. I'm like, look, man, I was out there. I knew what I was doing. This isn't like, oh, you caught me on some fucking, you know, I knew what I was doing. I knew what it held, you know. I know you can get this much time for, like, you know, shooting at somebody, murders, gangs, drugs, whatever. So, like, you know, it is what it is, man. Like, I knew what I was doing, you know. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna knock this shit out with my head up, you know. Like, my kids used to get at me. Sometimes it felt fucked up, you know. They're doing bad out here, and they're telling you, like, Dad, do good. Like, you know, I was always going to the hole and different shit, you know. You know, motherfucker was active in jail. So, you know, they'll tell me, like, Dad, be good. I'm like, you know, my bullshit to the side. I always tell them, like, you know what? Dad'll do good when I go out, when I get out of jail. You know, like, Dad came to jail for being an asshole, so I'm going to be an asshole till I get out. And then once I get out, I'm gonna do good and shit. And I think since I've been out, I've been doing good, dog. I've been working like my last year at working construction, you know, building the 5 freeway and shit. I've been doing pretty good until this last week, you know. On Friday I got laid off and shit. But other than that, like I've been on it, man. Getting up every day, dog, going to work, doing what I gotta do. So, you know, all I can do is keep pushing forward, man, and do what I gotta do.
Everybody stand the fuck up. Stand the fuck up. Everybody in the chat, stand the fuck up, dog. Don't play with this shit, dog. Thank you, brother.
All love, dog. You already know.
Thank you, bro. Oh my God, dog.
That's a good one, dog. This one I told you. Got you, dog. You know? Here, dog. We still got more to talk about.
I know.
dog.
It was
This
barely
ain't
even like touching it.
This is barely like nicking the surface.
You know what I'm
dog.
gonna do for you guys? I'm gonna open the phone lines.
That's why I called it when I called it.
Open the phone lines?
What I said. And that will be on the next episode, everybody.
we didn't even talk about him doing 15 years.
Well, that's what, yeah.
15.
We still got a lot
Hey.
to talk about, dog.
People said that too.
We're gonna get to that, and we'll get to that to a later point. But let's open the phone lines.
11 o'clock, though.
Let's open the phone lines. Rick, you would take some phone calls?
I mean, if that's what you want to do, but
You got laid off, fucker.
yeah, I know. But
And
you
I'm
gotta
off.
go to work tomorrow, motherfucker.
No, I'm good.
Lucky got laid off too.
Lucky got laid off. Too.
Hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Phone line, bro. It's phone line time.
I didn't get laid off.
Big Sleep said to tell you what up.
What up, Big Sleeps? It's all fucking.
Young Sleeps, what up?
So, Rick-
My boy.
So Rick, everybody wants to know.
What
I mean,
up?
maybe I'll just ask you off air.
Yeah, hold on.
Where were the drugs at?
Nah, we're not doing that.
That's $1 million question.
You're on Hood Stocks. Talk to us.
Hey, what up, Luck?
What up, baby? Your first phone call. Let's go.
All right, it's Devil Boy from Pomona. Just want to say what's up to you and to the homie Drewps right there.
What up, big dog? What up?
Hi. I listen to you guys and shit. I got 2 questions real quick, though.
Go ahead, big dog.
The first one is, how can I, because that was my homeboy's birthday yesterday, and that fool listens to you guys a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So I was trying to see if there's some way, like, I didn't get to get him nothing. I want to see if there's some way we could get him in to meet you guys and shit.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah. Hit me up on at Lucky Sun Zoom on Instagram, bro, and we'll line that up. Yeah, 100%.
All right, and also I got an ice cream truck, and then I wanted to see how we could get some of your guys' like fresheners and stickers in there and shit, you know, help you guys out.
Next phone call. You're on Hood Stocks. Talk to us.
Same thing, big dog. Hit him up.
You're on Hood Stocks. Talk to us.
What it do? What it do?
What up?
Oh shit! From fucking Chi-Town, you already know what's up.
Where you calling from, brother? Where you calling from?
Chicago, North
Chicago.
Chicago.
What's up?
North
Shout out to
Chicago.
Chicago, big dog.
Chi-Town on the casa, baby. Let's go.
Hell yeah, this shit dope as hell. All this, man, this is raw as hell. Dude,
Been out there, big
man,
dog. Been out there to Chicago, dog.
Have you?
Passing through. Passing through.
While you doing your thing?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
yeah,
Through the
right, yeah.
feds.
Who's the feds?
Hell yeah, this shit raw as hell. I've been following for fucking like what 3+ years and shit since like Money G. That shit
Yeah,
raw as
the
hell.
MCC's right there in the middle of downtown Chicago, man. We passed through all that shit. Chicago,
yeah,
what is that?
shit raw.
The White Sox Stadium and shit. We passed through all that shit.
Fuck the White Sox. This
I know, I
Northside
hear
is
you.
some-
Believe me, I
it's-
feel you.
it's
But we
tough
passed through all that
day.
shit, dog. We seen all that
Tough
shit.
all day. Hey, this shit raw as hell. Damn, I got through that shit dope as hell.
That's right, big dog. Much
but-
love to Chicago, big dog.
But shit, I've been following Hood Sox. Lucky, congrats with fucking, passing your test, all that shit.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you for
You know,
remembering
that
that, dog.
union shit. But then right now, I just heard you got laid off. What the fuck you mean you got just
Nah,
laid
me,
off?
I got laid off, big dog.
He laid off, bro.
Nah,
but
Lucky's good, dog.
Yeah.
They were clowning with Lucky. I got
Yeah.
laid off on Friday, big dog. I've been
Yeah.
working for a year and shit. Got laid off.
Oh man, shit. Fuck
Hold on,
that
let me
shit.
answer
We'll
my
be
girl's
here.
phone call. Hold on. Babe, you were live on Hoodstocks. Talk to us.
I'm on a live. Fuck you.
So, babe, I want to be responsible today. I got my lady right here, my wife, my girl. I love her with all my heart.
Shout out.
It's the first time that she ever calls by accident on Hoodstocks. Babe, I've drank a little too much, and I'll need you to pick me up in about 40 minutes, okay?
Bet,
No
I'll be
lie.
there.
Is that okay with you, love?
Yes, I'm gonna go get you.
I apologize, baby. Thank you.
Get off your live, okay?
Okay. She's so dumb. I love my baby,
Yeah,
bro.
she said end the podcast. That's what she just said.
No,
Yeah. He's like, oh,
Where's the
no.
eject seat? Where's the eject seat?
Where's the eject seat? I always tell him about the eject seat. Sometimes,
Eject.
babe, what did I tell you about the eject seat? Tell me about the eject seat. What did I tell you about the eject seat?
Casey, push that button.
Casey, push that button.
I'm going to have to push it, guys. Sorry. See you guys
Sorry,
later.
guys.
You know what? It would be amazing if we had an eject seat.
We
right
got
here.
it.
Yeah, it's called end stream.
It's called end stream.
No, it's not for right now. We're gonna answer phone calls, babe. 45 minutes. Be here. Okay.
Lucky's holding us hostage here. Send pizzas. Jesus Christ. I'll say it. He's fucking holding us hostage.
Baby, pick me up in 45 minutes, please.
He really needs it. No lie.
I'll leave my car here. I love you guys.
Okay, you leave it there.
I
I'll be
love
there.
you, babe.
Bye.
I love you, baby. I'm so sorry. My girl is so sweet, man.
That's what you want to do, bro.
Oh, she's so sweet. I love my.
You got laid off, fucker.
Yeah, no.
Let's
But
go
you
to the next
gotta go
phone
to work
call.
tomorrow, motherfucker.
No, I'm good.
You're playing
Lucky
it.
got laid off
Playing
too.
it. You're playing. You got laid off.
Oh,
playing
shit.
the
I was
podcast.
Like, you got that
tripping.
shit playing the podcast again.
Phone line, bro.
Oh, hold on. I'm tripping.
I'm tripping, bro.
Eject.
What up? Are we good?
No. We don't think you're good,
Bro, I
but
thought it
we're
was
good.
the mushrooms, bro. I didn't know what the fuck was happening, bro.
Eject.
I didn't know what was happening. I wasn't scared, bro. I was ready for the journey. You gotta always be ready for the journey, dog.
Casey, get us out of here.
No. Next phone call, Rick.
Phone calls are done, dog.
Lucky's holding
they're
us
done.
They're
hostage.
asleep. They're already tired. They're like, we're going to bed. Look, they're not calling.
Well, hit the eject button then, fucker.
You got it over there.
Where's the eject button at? Somebody got it? No, hold on
It's called
a second.
end stream.
Okay.
Look at everybody's putting mushrooms up there. They're
We
like,
love you
look at-
guys. Hey, the mushrooms hit me, and I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
Good podcast,
No,
man.
I want
Love
to
you
say
guys.
this. I want to say this before I end it, and you guys can say he's on mushrooms. He's gonna say this. Nah, fuck that, dog. Nah, fuck you, caller. I want to say this.
They wanted to keep it
No,
alive.
I want to say this. Bro. So when we had the professor, what's the professor's name?
Bill Sanders.
Bill Sanders. So when we had Bill Sanders on here,
Yeah.
I was a little bit like fucking off my shit because I had so much stuff going on in my life.
I was on it, though, bro. I wasn't
Yeah.
letting that fool be on that shit,
No, but
dog.
peak game though. So I said during the Bill Sanders, I said this. I said, you know what? Like, yeah, fucking guys, man, they need fucking Jesus in their life or something like that to come to when they going through a hard time. And I talk shit, but I want to say this. And this has always weighed on me, guys. Casey's not even ready for this. This has always weighed on my heart because I seen a comment of someone saying, "Hey, fucking Lucky, what the fuck, dog? You're talking shit about people needing like God in their life during hard times." You know what? Check it out. Anytime that I've ever been through a hard time in my life, I have reached out to God. Okay? I've reached out to God and I prayed. I fell to my knees and I prayed. And it wasn't in front of, and I'm speaking metaphorically speaking, right? You know, I prayed. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with somebody going through some things in life, and it can be out there. I mean, it can be in there or out here where they experience that they need a closeness to God. And honestly, lately I feel like I've needed a closeness to God because I started reading my girls' stories about the Bible. I have some. These guys are laughing at me in the background. Can you give that from Rick and Nick? Bro, I've been reading Bible stories to my kids in the recent time about the beginning of this world. And I think we're losing that. We're losing that. I feel like we're losing that.
What is that exactly?
The Bible, bro.
Oh,
the beginning, bro. The beginning of
Genesis.
Genesis, bro. Like, we're losing that, bro. With all this fucking stupid social media shit, bro. But that's the basics, bro, of life. But anyways.
Well, maybe we're in the Revelation.
I mean, but check it out, bro. Does the Bible not mean anything? Have you ever prayed, Rick?
Yeah, of course I prayed. I've prayed plenty.
Who was I mean, you were rocking the fucking Jesus piece once upon a time ago, right?
Yeah, of course. I've always prayed, big
So what is your religious beliefs, brother?
Me?
Yes.
Catholic, big dog.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I'm trying to get at, and I'm not trying to put Rick in the middle of this right here, because he's like, this fool ate too many mushrooms to be still on this live. But check it out.
I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
But
big
check
dog,
it
I'm
out.
Catholic.
Like, we need to dig deep to the roots, bro. I want to go to church right now. I've felt like, honestly.
Right now, this moment?
Yeah. If this moment, you can take me to church, bro, I'll go to church. And if there's someone to teach me something and there's a minister to give me a sermon, I would hear it right now, bro.
Interesting.
100%, bro. Right now, I'm going to take my glasses off, bro. Right now, I feel a longing or a lack of connection to the Word, to the Bible, to Jesus Christ, to what we were brought into this world, if you believe it or not. Like, bro, I need, like, honestly, dog, I need Jesus, dog, in my life right now, dog.
Jesus
because I haven't been praying lately, bro.
You need a ride right now. That's what you need.
Baby mama coming to pick you up, dog. Baby mama coming to pick you up.
And I need some tacos, too. Anyways, all right.
What happened to Taco Tuesday?
You know what, dog? Fuck you guys,
We're gonna get Father. We're gonna get Father Greg in here to give you a sermon. Father
You're
Greg.
a dick, fool. You're on Hoodstocks. Talk to us.
My phone is flooded. All the homies are watching this.
Oh,
shit,
you're on
dog.
Hoodstocks. Talk to us.
Yo.
What up,
What
dog?
up?
Yeah, what's up, doggy? Hey, I used to stay right there on Kendall, baby, right by Bushnell. What's good, baby? Northeast.
That's right. Northeast, baby.
Hey,
you already
right
know.
Right there on Redfield, dog, with the homie Gato.
Yeah, that's right. We know. You know what it is.
Hey, you know,
That's
hey,
right.
Your brother Rob, hey, the homie Gizmo.
That's right, big dog. All love, homie.
Showing love out here, dog. Hey.
That's right. Highland Park, big dog. Much love.
Hey, much love from Nebraska, doggies. Hey,
That's right.
You're in Nebraska now, right?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
That's
Lincoln,
right. Much
Nebraska,
love to
dog.
Nebraska,
Yeah,
dog. I was out
love.
there in Kansas, bro, with a gang of dudes from Nebraska.
Next phone call. You're on Hoodstocks. Talk to us.
It was good looking, Mount Top.
What's up? Oh, Malachi, you a stalker, bro.
Hey, when you gonna have me on Hoodstocks, fool? What the fuck?
Never, fucker, never. You're never gonna be on Hoodstocks. Supposed to stop stalking, you fucker.
Piece of shit. Let me redeem myself, bro.
Hey, bring me Lucky's phone, so I could.
You
get
gotta
the next
go to
call.
the next caller at least. Lucky's gone again.
All right, let me see. Lucky's taking a piss or he's throwing up. Or
Hey, let me see.
We got young Menace watching us in Ecuador. What up, Menace?
We're gonna take the next caller. Hey, what's up? You're on Hoodstocks.
They're
Hello?
asleep already, dog.
Hey, yo, what up? You're on Hoodstocks.
Look, we got my homeboy Menace watching us in Ecuador, big dog.
Yo, you're on Hoodstocks. What up?
They're asleep.
Oh shit! No, I think you could hear it. Hold on,
You gotta get it over here.
I gotta get it right here. I gotta Send this dude a voicemail. Hey, my bad. Here, or my bad. Yo.
Yo.
What's good, big
Yo,
dog?
what up?
What's
You on
good?
Hoodstocks?
Hey, someone splashed some water on Lucky's face, dog.
Lucky's splashing water on his own face
pissing on
right
his
now in the
face
bathroom,
right now,
dog.
actually.
Hey, dog. Hey, someone end it, dog. Don't let him do that to himself again, dog. End the show, dog. End
Hey,
the show.
they're saying, Lucky, you don't want this. You don't want to wake up. Oh, no! Shit!
Somebody put a camera on Lucky.
Dude, I can't. We can't. I'll fucking turn this dude. Dude.
All right, guys. Hood
All right,
Stocks
guys,
is
we'll see you
over.